Against the ropes podcast.
Wow, went back against the ropes. He's desperately trying to
Against the
cover
ropes,
up.
number one.
Ali won't extend himself while Lyles against the ropes. But Ali still tries.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Against the Ropes podcast here, Gio Garcia. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda.
Hey.
Episode number 118.
Damn, 118.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
cool.
We're
good.
back, man. We're back in the building, back in our studio.
Home sweet home.
Yeah, we've been on the road for the last couple of months.
For real. Putting in miles in our cars, huh?
For real.
Damn. Nice. Getting out of the city, going to Bakersfield, then Riverside,
Yeah, Fontana.
That's right.
And then San Fernando or
Mhm.
Burbank.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but we are back. And yeah, man, I just want to start out with a big shout out to our guy from Puro Golpe. Make sure to check him out on Instagram at Puro Golpe, man. Jesse, he was there at the last episode, right, with the Muratayas. He sponsors them as well. So cool guy. And then we'll be rocking his shirt, his gear soon. Yeah, man. But right now we're rocking these guys sponsor us, so we're kind of wearing their stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got the Lakers on, you got the Liverpool on.
Yeah, these guys
know what I'm
make
saying?
they make some pretty good shirts, man. They're pretty nice. They're not
High
bad.
quality.
Yeah.
Y'all want one? Hit us up.
Hey, so good fights this weekend, right? Big fight this weekend.
Yeah, man. Big, huge fight this past weekend. Let me send a big shout out to Comics Vet, who's here in the building, ready to debate, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
He's always ready, man. He stays ready.
Yeah, let's go. But yeah, big fight. Let me put the graphic up on your screen if I can find it. There it is. Vasiliy Lomachenko against Teofimo Lopez, right? A lot of mixed reactions, mixed emotions. For the
Yeah.
most part, I feel like most people are happy that Teofimo won.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of different scorecards.
Mhm.
The judges all saw it pretty wide by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you want to start with here?
Well, let's start with the actual fight. The actual fight. Like first of all,
Yeah.
how exciting was it to get that fight free on ESPN? So that's pretty dope. I think it peaked at what they said near 3 million views, right? Near 3 million. So that's pretty dope. It was offered to anybody and everybody that was willing to watch ESPN on a Saturday night, and that's pretty dope. First of all, second, the fact that we got this fight. We always talk about how there's some fighters that don't get in the ring or have an excuse for not fighting the best, and this was the best fighting the best. So I'll ask you, Gio, what was your reaction to the outcome? Was the fight what you expected? Did it live up to expectations?
Yeah.
Were you excited throughout?
You know, I want to start off with the fact that it was a free fight because you did mention that.
Yeah.
On one of the previous clips, you mentioned that you weren't sure if this fight was going to happen, right? When the whole thing negotiating was going on. At the end of the day, Teofimo got his way. Both ways, right? Both ways. He got the W and he got the money that he thought he deserved. I thought it was a pretty good fight, but I feel like both guys started off really slow.
I think so. Yeah.
Picked up at the end. I feel like the only complaint that I have and most people are probably the wide margin by the the judges, right? Because when we were hearing it, we were just kind of like nobody won. What was it? 119?
119, 109. Nobody won by that wide.
Yeah, we're like, okay, that didn't happen. So I feel like that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but I'm happy it was a free fight.
Yeah.
The undercard on paper was supposed to be really, really good. And it was good. I feel like the last 3 fights were good. Berlanga,
yeah.
Barboza Saucedo, and then the main event, I thought they were good. The others, not so much.
Yeah.
Right? We talked to the Murataya brothers, and I think Gabriel mentioned that there's a possibility of him being in this card, so that would have been a great opportunity for him.
He would have
and
definitely
he would have made it more exciting.
definitely more exciting. You know, more storylines. The preschool teacher. Yeah, that would have been sick.
Yeah, but the fight itself,
The fight itself was
yeah,
yeah.
I give it probably like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I feel like both guys didn't fight an excellent fight, and obviously we rarely get like an excellent fight in these type of fights, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of nerves. I'm sure there's a lot of caution on both ends. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to just get to watch this in the middle of a pandemic and the fact that it was free.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with me. It was just each other a little bit too much. Lomachenko a little bit too much respect. Teofimo just doing just enough. And I know we'll get into it in a little bit. But yeah, if we would have gotten more action like the 8th, 9th, 10th rounds throughout the fight, I think it would have been a much more satisfying, fight for the fans. But nonetheless, it's still a good fight. Both, they showed their skill. They showed it in spurts and in moments. But it was a good fight. We'll talk about whether it warrants a rematch or not. But yeah, it was a good fight. We saw it here at my house. They'll hosted a little party. Again, we talked about that Berlanga fight. How we were running to the store. We're getting some snacks, and some other things for the party, for the watch party. But yeah, we're like, we can't miss that first round, right? Because
yeah, man. You know what happens in the first round when Berlanga fights, right? And I think let's stick on the Teofimo Vasiliy Lomachenko fight. What was your initial reaction when that bell rang? When that last bell rang?
When the last bell rang?
Yeah, what was going through your mind? Who'd you think was winning? What'd you think of the fight overall? How'd you think the scorecards didn't look like?
Okay, so I think I was one of those people that was, victim of the moment, where you're siding with one guy. It could be, pre-fight bias. It could be you just like this guy a little bit more, and maybe you're siding.
Yeah, man, don't
with
make me
fight.
play that clip because I recorded it. I got you on record.
So yeah, I drink. We drank a little bit, just a little bit. I think I was siding more with Lomachenko. I thought he edged it out. Very close fight. After the fight, we always say, we scored it this way. We kind of sided it this way. I at that moment, victim of the moment, I thought Lomachenko pulled it out 7-5. But if it would have gone 7-5, Teo, I probably wouldn't have been surprised. If it was 8-4 for either guy, I wouldn't have been surprised. Or a draw, I wouldn't have been surprised. Victim of the moment, I thought Lomachenko pulled it off. And we'll talk about it. I went back to look at it and saw it a little bit differently. But how did you see it, Gio?
Live, I thought Lomachenko had it. You just never know though with the judges. I don't trust the decisions.
Yeah.
And let me interrupt myself for a little bit because they're it's giving me some warnings on the stream saying that it's buffering a little bit. I don't know if you guys are getting that at home, some buffering, but if you are, our apologies. Normally we don't experience these technical difficulties, but that's what happens during the live show, right?
Yeah, it happens.
We have no control over that, so we'll just try to keep it as smooth as possible. And if anything, I'll just try to keep the image of the fight itself on your screen, so that will help a little bit with the buffering. But anyway, at the end of the fight, I thought it was a close fight, and I was rooting for Lomachenko. And then that last round worried me because Teofimo made just when Lomachenko probably won 4 rounds in a row, and then you were like, oh, he's running away with this, right? Teofimo came back with a huge 12th round. Yeah. That was a good round by both because Lomachenko got his good punches in as well. Yeah. But I just think Teofimo did enough to pull that one off. He was fresher, he was stronger, and yeah, I thought it was close. Obviously, the judges didn't, right? So that 12th round didn't matter to them. Yeah. They kind of had the winner by then already. But I thought Lomachenko pulled it off live. I thought he pulled it off because of that second half of the fight. The first half of the fight, I feel like there were a lot of rounds that were close that maybe due to optics, people were saying, oh, I'm giving it to Lopez because he was missing a lot of punches. But I mean, most people, we don't know 100% if he's landing or missing, right? So I feel like due to optics, they were like, okay, Teofimo's dominating, which I don't think he ever dominated in this fight.
I don't think he dominated. I just think he did just enough to beat him. Where you just do just enough to beat the guy. And I think you heard me in the beginning of the fight. I was like, I think I had Teofimo up maybe 4-1 at one point, 5-2 at one point. I really did think Teofimo swept most of the early rounds convincingly. And this is when we were watching the fight live. I think I just felt that Lomachenko came out stronger in the second half, and again, victim of the moment. I felt like he won, but
Yeah.
looking back at it, I saw the fight again the following day. It was already on YouTube. You know how people are. They already put the fight up.
Dude, I saw it on YouTube. Maybe 2 days later, it had 2 million views.
Dude,
That one YouTube video, the full fight, had 2 million views. So I'm pretty sure other clips had other millions and half a million views.
I think, or we didn't. I don't think we scored the fight round by round because we're enjoying the fight, right?
Yeah,
Live.
nobody
we're just
does
enjoying.
that.
We're kind of going like, oh, you know what? I felt.
That's what I don't
won,
like when
felt-
people are like, "Oh, I had it 7-5, I had
There's
it
no
8-4."
way.
It's like, dude, nobody
If-
sits there with the pen and pencil like.
If you're not a fan, you're just like.
Yeah,
fucking
and that's why, like I said, me too. I was a victim of the moment because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I have it this much
Yeah.
Lomachenko, but at the end of the day, I'm not counting rounds.
not-
It's
yeah,
just like, it's just that
You're-
memory. I
you're
think
free
I
of-
given him this many rounds,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, so how did you score when you look back at it? When you sat down, sobered up, volume down. Now you're
Well, I don't think we listened to the commentators,
didn't
right? Because it
really.
was pretty loud.
pretty
Like
loud,
we
so-
weren't really
yeah.
listening to what they were saying.
Yeah.
Before I say my scorecard after, let me go to ComicsVet. He said I had it 115, 113 on fight night. Then after rewatching it, my score didn't change.
Hey, respect.
No, he had it for Teofimo Lopez.
Okay, that's understandable. I can see
Yeah.
that.
So when I watched it again, I think there were 3 rounds that were just like really hard to score for me.
Okay.
I think it was round 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put up the punch stats up on your screen in a little
Mhm.
bit. I know I don't really like using punch stats because they're not 100% accurate,
Mhm.
but just ballpark rough estimate
Yeah.
to see the round by rounds, right? Watching it again, I honestly I had 3 conclusions:
Okay.
7-5 either or 6-6.
Or 6.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm just like, if you had it one of those 3, I'm not mad.
Mm-hmm.
If you had it wider than that, I think you have some explaining to do.
He has smoke. Yeah.
But I thought it was a really close fight, but it all depends on some of the rounds. Let me see if I can pull that up here for you guys now. Some of the punch stats round by round, and I'm gonna try to blow it up here on your screen so you guys can see it. So you'll be able to see it in a little bit, Chris. But to me, rounds 4, 5, and 6 are it's key.
It's close.
However you scored it, because and like I said, it's a rough estimate of punches. It could be closer, it could be wider, obviously. But for example, Lomachenko in round 4, he landed 5 out of 9 punches.
Okay.
All right, pretty good percentage, but didn't throw much.
Didn't throw much. Yeah.
Teofimo landed 7 of 45. Threw a lot of
This is
punches.
round 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
didn't land much, 15%. And like I said, these are rough estimates.
Yeah.
I feel like punches thrown, you can calculate that.
Mm-hmm.
Punches landed is a little harder,
A little bit tough.
right? But Teofimo landed him by 2 punches, throwing a lot more.
A lot more.
So I think that's up to, I guess, what you like more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the quote unquote aggressor?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the boxer?
The efficient, effective boxer.
Yeah. And then going to round 5, Lomachenko once again landed 5 of 9. Right? Exact same percentage, 55% or 55, yeah. Teofimo once again landed 7 punches.
Mm-hmm.
And this time he threw 44. So basically the same. Those 2 rounds were the same. Like to me, I had a tough time scoring them because to me, Lomachenko was landing cleaner. Teofimo was landing slightly more, couple punches, right?
Yeah, with me, when I went back to see it, I scored it. The more convincing one was 7-5 to Teofimo. I could have seen it go 8-4 Teofimo, or worst case scenario, draw. But looking back,
Yeah.
I didn't see Lomachenko winning. You know,
So those rounds,
So-
how do you score it? The 4 and 5.
4, 5, and 6.
Both guys landed exactly the same amount of punches. Loma he only threw 9.
Mm-hmm.
Teofimo throwing 44, 45, but only landing 2 more than Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you have to score live, it's very tough because you got to make a quick decision, right?
You're flipping a coin.
If I'm going back, I would favor, if it's close like that where you don't, it's similar, and I would favor the more effective fighter. if you're obviously
yeah.
throwing more punches, yeah, you're missing a lot more, but you're also landing more punches. Then I would favor, the aggressor as opposed to the guy that threw less punches but
Yeah.
was more effective. So
To me,
It's
at that point, I'm just counting cleaner punches, I guess.
yeah,
Because both guys are pretty much landing the same amount. One guy's clearly throwing more, the other guy not so much. But at that point, it's tough. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
who's landing cleaner,
Yeah.
right? And then that's the thing, scoring. There's no definitive criteria of how you're supposed to score a fight,
like if you
right?
were
If you're the judges,
Yeah.
hey, he threw a lot of punches, oh, he's winning, right? They gave him 7 in a row,
yeah.
which even Andre Ward, the biggest Lomachenko hater, couldn't see. That's my thing. For those people who are saying it was a blowout, it was a wide margin. Andre Ward, the biggest Lomachenko hater, couldn't find enough rounds to give to Teofimo.
Interesting. So that you brought up earlier, off camera, is like we don't reward for for defensive for making somebody miss. We kind of we just kind of reward the offense
unless it's Mayweather.
unless it's Mayweather, and so that's something that maybe the judges should take a look into. Nonetheless, I gave the first round to Teo.
Yeah, I mean,
I only gave the second round.
Lomachenko
to
only
Lomachenko.
threw like 4 punches,
Yeah.
so I think there were some rounds where it's definitely Teofimo. The
Yeah.
first round is one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Lomachenko threw 4 punches. You're not gonna win that round.
Yeah.
And then the 12, which I think Teofimo did a great job
Yeah.
finishing off the fight. If there was any doubt in the scorecards, if it was close, he made sure that.
That 12th round.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the early rounds I gave to Teofimo, and I think a lot of people agree that they saw the Lomachenko they're used to show up mid 7 round, definitely 8th round, 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 11th. That's the Lomachenko that people are used to. And so a lot of people were like, if we would have seen even 3-4 more rounds of that, it should have been like for Loma. But I think the size, the power of Teo, the sharpness of Teo really gave Loma a problem, especially.
But you see, was he really sharp?
I think he was sharp
If
in
you're
moments.
if you're missing 85% of your punches 2 rounds in a row, and then the next round you only land 20% of your punches roughly.
So he was missing a lot, but he was also sharp in those moments where he just needed enough to keep Loma, timid and
I agree with that because
and gun shy.
even the punches that were landing on Loma's gloves were enough to keep Loma
Yeah,
at bay.
yeah, because
But I'm still not scoring that. Like I get you, I get what you mean,
Mhm.
but it's not a landed punch to me, so I'm not scoring it.
like I do agree. Maybe there should be a criteria for like, this is excellent defense because he was making Theo miss a lot and stuff. I think people went in with that bias, like they're used to seeing that Loma, of old.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing I
so
told you, right?
yeah, if you really just scored, like, did he beat him? Did he beat him this round? Like, forget about the
Yeah.
Loma, the Matrix, the high
Yeah,
tech.
yeah.
If you just score
Pound for
him
pound.
as a fighter, he would have probably won a few more rounds.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. I feel like a lot of people were caught up in the moment too. A lot of people were I think telling themselves, "Hey, well, Teofimo's hanging in there," and most people didn't give Teofimo a chance, even if they put money. Hey, I would have put money on Teofimo because the odds were good for him. I feel like he was a little disrespected in that sense because I think
bit.
the odds were minus 420. Don't ask me how I remember that, but it's my birthday. But the odds were minus 420 for Lomachenko a week before the fight, and I was like, that's too wide. If I'm putting money, I'm probably putting money on a Lopez win.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people put money on the knockout for Lopez. We know a couple of people, and that didn't happen.
Some people won, some people lost.
Yeah.
Well, no, some people won on the decision, but
Yeah. Now, I think Teofimo in a lot of rounds, I think he was getting a participation trophy. I know that
Teofimo?
sounds harsh, but I feel like a lot of people are saying, well, Lomachenko's not dominating, so I'm going to give this round to Teofimo Lopez. Right.
Okay.
And I know that doesn't sound good, but I feel like a lot of people were caught up in that. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, 7-5 either or is cool. And 6-6, I mean, what did Marquez say, Juan Manuel Marquez? I didn't watch the clip that you sent.
Marquez saw Loma winning, but he said he was very disappointed.
See,
at
and
the
that's
same
the
time.
sense. Like,
So it's
nobody was happy with his performance. So
Nobody was
most
happy,
people are like, fuck it. Like, this is one thing I don't like about boxing fans, right? They don't care about boxing for 2 reasons, right? I saw no outrage by the scorecards.
Yeah. That's the biggest.
Because the underdog won and they liked the story. Nobody cared about the scorecards. And number 2, nobody cares about the sweet science. All right. They saw one guy throwing a bunch of punches and they said, hell yeah, he's winning. Putazos, right?
Yeah.
Let's square it for him.
Yeah.
So for those two reasons, I'm like, boxing fans, do they really care about actual boxing or do they just want to see blood and violence?
I think they want to see the latter. They want to see violence, action, putazos.
Yeah, and then Clyde from Comics Vet brings up a good point. Not every punch is meant to be landed or do damage. So punch that's alone lack context.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I would also say that Lomachenko landed the cleaner punches throughout the fight. So, like, what were the punches that were actually working for Teofimo Lopez?
To me, he always had like that little uppercut.
The uppercut was great.
Kind of
The
stopped
body
him.
shot was great.
Body shot.
But his jab was non-existent the whole fight.
So the jab wasn't there. The right cross, the right hand was there. They kept him. It just kept Lomachenko and Lomachenko never got a rhythm going.
I feel like people gave him a lot of rounds just because Lomachenko wasn't doing much.
That's pretty much why. Like in a way.
And Teofimo, even if he's landing on the gloves, people are like, okay, fuck it, at least he's throwing. Which I'm not mad at that because most judges will judge it that way.
Yeah. To me, it just kind of reminds you of like of an Adrian Broner, not to compare, but like Adrian Broner just never let his hands go and Loma didn't.
But he gets hit. That's the difference. Dude,
yeah.
what, Teofimo landed 28% of his punches, roughly? Well, do the math. How many did he miss?
A lot. Yeah,
70,
like 75,
whatever. Roughly, right? 70 to 75% of his punches. That's not good boxing.
That's not good, but I just think like those 25% or whatever he landed were the most eye-catching ones.
Yeah.
They were the eye-catching ones. Yeah. And again, these judges, I think they're more casual. If you had to put them in a casual to boxing fans,
dude, did you see?
They do claim that they're boxing fans, but I think they're a little bit more casual.
Did you see the guy who was on his phone during the fight?
Yes.
I'm gonna pull up the picture later on, but I think if you're casually watching a fight, but even then, it's tough to say because we had a room full of our friends, and most of them thought Lomachenko was winning, right? And they don't really watch boxing or care about it that much. But just common sense, like if you see a street fight and a guy is missing most of his punches, you're probably like, he's probably not winning,
Yeah,
but boxing, I know, is different criteria. Everybody kind of makes up their own based on their own opinion.
I guess it's different in the ring than on TV. We've noticed that maybe they saw the aggressor and then he just looks more aggressive like ringside. But because again you brought up a good point. A lot of people are not as angry about that scorecard, that one in particular, 119, 109, right? Where she
even the other one, 117 or 118, what was the other one? The other one was pretty bad
too. That one's pretty bad too. Yeah, but like
Julie Letterman.
Right. And she normally has good cards. She normally has good cards, but this time it was just what was the other one for the Canelo fight?
Adelaide Bird.
Adelaide Bird, man, she busted an Adelaide Bird.
She's still around, dude. I see her in every card.
Dude, if Rochin still has a job, everybody.
Rochin is everywhere. Alejandro Rochin. He scored at 115, 111 for Deontay Wilder, the first fight. Somehow.
Fuck. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you about these judges. Feels like they're leaving fingerprints, and you do one of these scorecards. They're like, let's bring them back. They're one of us. But that's a really, really, really bad scorecard. She gave a lot of the later rounds, the ones that were a little bit like more clear for Lomachenko to Teofimo. And so again, I think most people saw Teofimo winning. I think because it was a combination of him doing just enough to win with the size, power, and sharpness, and not effectiveness in combi box as you mentioned, Gio, but combination of that and then Loma just starting too slow and not letting his hands go as what we're normally used to seeing. So
I don't know. I try to keep it consistent. To me, if a fighter is missing so many punches, because boxing is hit and don't get hit, right?
Yeah.
I understand Lomachenko wasn't doing enough hitting in most people's eyes to pull off those rounds, but like I always give the example of Triple G against Canelo,
the first one,
number one. Yeah. Triple G missed fucking 80% of his punches.
A lot.
He threw a lot, but he was missing most of them. But I guarantee you 95% of people had him winning that fight just because he was throwing a lot, right? So I don't know. Boxing fans are a little weird to me, but I don't know. Have you ever seen a guy win a fight missing so many punches? Like normally, you don't.
Yeah.
But I think the blame has to go on Lomachenko too for not throwing enough.
Yeah.
I feel like if he would have thrown fucking 10, 15 more punches each round, I feel like he would have won more convincingly in my eyes, not in the judges' eyes, because they had it obviously very wide. But
It looks like you were not gonna convince Judy that night either way, right? Shit.
they made sure Teofimo was not gonna win. After
Man.
7 rounds, they're like, all right, he doesn't lose unless he gets knocked down or knocked out.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you think, with that scorecard, with Loma going, like, being on the way out, with there not being a set rematch clause in place,
Yeah.
with the up and coming, fresh face, aggressive, marketable fighter in Teofimo, he's got not just the adult crowd, but the kids with the whole Fortnite celebrations. Do you think it was a perfect storm to take out the pound for pound king? What do you think?
Yeah, and looking back at it, Lomachenko was in the A side in this fight.
Damn.
Right, all the odds were against him. Actually, more people bet for Teofimo. It was just that more money was received on the Lomachenko bet side, and that's why the odds were like that. But most people were putting money on Teofimo. We talked about it. Was it the week of or no, the week before?
The week before, yeah.
On the Coach G episode, and we all kind of said Loma. She said Teofimo, and we're all kind of like on the edge, like I don't know, But I mean, it only makes sense. It only makes sense
to favor,
yeah.
powers that be to favor.
Yeah.
Dale, what do you think about the urgency of Papachenko? A lot of people kind of criticize him for being calm and like not very outspoken. Do you think like he should have been like, yo, like wake up, like, urgency time?
I don't know. People are different, so I can't judge based on their reactions. We don't know what the hell he was saying, so
we don't speak Russian
or Ukrainian. I don't know what dialects they have over there, but we don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
What if he was telling his son, "Motherfucker, step it up," like low key? We don't know. So
we don't know. Yeah.
But or maybe he thought they were winning. I don't know. Maybe he thought the game plan was right, which I think the game plan was right. Get the young guy tired, because you saw second half of the fight, Teofimo had no sting, no power in the punches, right? Did he ever hurt Lomachenko in this fight?
I don't think he hurt him like where you think that he's gonna be out on his feet. I think he touched him up enough for Lomachenko to fear his power, but I don't think either one hurt each other to the point where like, oh, there might be a stoppage. Oh, he's hurt.
Well, I mean, oh my God.
I know he lifted him. He lifted Lomachenko on one punch, but
when I was watching, I think some clips on maybe Top Ranks Instagram, I heard Timmy and then what was it, Kriegel saying, "Oh, Teofimo has him hurt," and it's just like, well, wait, what? Maybe but they gotta do what they gotta do. I understand, but
sell him. I think he landed some good punches, some that really touched them up, but not seriously hurt.
Who looked more hurt at the end of the fight, based on their faces? Didn't Teofimo low-key look a little more?
Even though I saw him winning, I saw him a little bit more touched up.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I don't know. I feel like we all have to go back and watch it again, and this time take off our bias glasses, because a lot of people put money on this fight. A lot of people bet, so it's just like you're already starting. 2-0 for Teofimo or Lomachenko, whoever you're betting for. You already have them up by 2 rounds.
Well, Letterman already has fucking up like 9 rounds. Shit. Man, offshore accounts, bro. It's real.
Yeah. But I don't know. Is there anything else to say on that?
Yeah, I'll pose this question. Where do you have the pound for pound rankings now based on this decision? Do you have... Do you put Dale, like in your, off the top of here, do you put Dale in the top 10? Do you put Lomachenko down
maybe
a little
10?
Bit? Top 10? He breaks in your opinion.
And that's another thing that I'm always consistent about. Like, one win does not... Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, to me, I get what I get your logic on that. To me,
it's like you can't erase history because you get one win.
You bump them temporarily. I think the top 2 you have all right. Reeves moves up to 3. Joshua momentarily goes to 4 for now.
Come on,
wait for that shit to come back.
Come on,
and
man.
And then you switch again. You knocked out. You're an underdog. You knock out the heavyweight champ. You deserve to get that spot.
Okay, that's one win.
One win. So yeah, you.
So that does that erase the fact that Joshua beat Klitschko,
course
beat
not.
Dillian White,
course
beat
not.
Joseph Parker.
Of course not. But if you beat that guy, it's
Then I don't
in a way,
understand this.
it's an extension. Like if you beat that guy, you take his spot.
And
then,
that only works in boxing for some reason. Only in boxing
Yeah.
does that work, because if the last place in the Premier League beats Liverpool, does that automatically make them the number one team in the league?
of course not. But
Obviously, you see, look
No,
at your
th-
response.
But that's
of course
one on
not.
one. That's 11 versus 11. This is 1-on-1. That's different.
So
It's
if
different.
the 10th ranked tennis player beats the number one ranked tennis player, that 10th place tennis player automatically becomes number one
Not
because he beat the number one player.
Not number one, but maybe 7, and then number one. probably drops to
Okay,
3.
thank you.
So, like,
for
it's a little
proving
bit-
my point.
But I'm just saying, based on the heavyweight example, that's how I would have ranked them. So you're saying that Teofimo barely cracks the top 10 then, ish,
Yeah.
and Loma maybe drops to what 3, 4, or do you think he stays at number 2?
I gotta see, because it's gonna be interesting how Inoue performs. It's gonna
Okay.
be interesting how Tyson Fury performs if he fights by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I just think everybody else is so far behind that I don't even know how to rank them right now.
So where did you have Lomachenko ranked before this fight?
Number 2.
Okay, and so top 3. I'm guessing that's the Canelo one.
Canelo, Inoue, and Tyson Fury.
Top 3. Now, so you have Loma.
I
at
guess,
4.
but see, I don't like doing a pound for pound, and that's why I hate all these lists, because when something big happens, automatically, let me switch up my whole list. It's just like, no, give it some time.
To me,
I like to give my list at the end of the year.
okay, that makes sense. To me, it's like not necessarily change up anybody else, but those 2 guys that fought, I think that those variables change a little bit, and then based on the other guys, what they've done throughout the year or whatever, or in their resume, that's where you put them. So yeah, do you want to hear your? I don't know.
See,
I know you don't
Comics
wanna
Vet
hear
agrees. He
ESPN's.
says Deo's borderline 10.
Okay.
And I would say that because he doesn't have enough big wins in his resume to crack
Okay.
top 7.
I was gonna.
You
read-
know, he has Comey, which is a good win. I believe the Diego Magdaleno fight was a good win,
Yeah.
especially the way he won. But that's not enough, man. A lot of casual fans will tell you, "Oh, he's top 5, he's this and that," but you got to earn it, man.
I was
You know,
gonna-
we live in a generation where people get participation trophies.
all the time.
LeBron makes the finals, even if he loses 60% of the time. People are like, "Hey, he's the greatest because he made it. It's okay if
Yeah.
he loses, right?"
Yeah.
But our generation, we don't look at it that way. You know, you got to win.
Yeah.
And you got to get a lot of wins, and you got to prove yourself time after time after time. Because look, if Teofimo happens to lose his next fight, let's say he moves it to 140 and loses to Jose Ramirez,
Ramirez, yeah.
then what? Then I guarantee you, people are gonna knock him out of
Knock
their
him
top
top 10,
10,
yeah.
just like they're doing to Lomachenko now. So
Yeah. Well, a lot of people still have Vasiliy top 10. He just dropped. I was gonna read you the ESPN, but I know you don't like to
No.
read ESPN.
if you want to laugh, read anything ESPN.
So I'll do boxing news. A journalist, you know, unbiased for the most part. You know, rating system here. So number 1, Canelo Alvarez. Okay, right.
That's a given. I don't
Number
think-
2, Inoue, the monster,
I
who
agree.
fights October 31st. So don't miss that
Halloween,
fight.
yeah.
Number
Against
3,
Maloney, it should be a very good fight, undefeated from Australia.
what do you call him? Maloney.
Post Maloney.
Number 4, or number 3, Terence Crawford. Okay.
Wait, what?
1 Canelo, 2 Inoue.
Wait, you're ranking Crawford in the
No.
welterweight division?
I'm telling you, boxing news is top 10.
Oh,
So just yeah,
because if you said Crawford number 3 in the welterweight, I would agree.
good one. Number 3, Terence Crawford. Number 4, Alexander Usyk. So Usyk number 4.
Okay, and I have a point about Terence Crawford. Don't let me forget.
Number 5, Errol Spence. All right. Number 6, new to the top 10, Teofimo Lopez. Number 6. Number 7, Vasiliy Lomachenko. Number 7. So
I
Okay.
guess.
you went from number 2 to number 7. Like, okay. Number 8, Triple G. Number 9, Juan Estrada, who fights, you know,
This Friday,
this Friday.
October 23rd.
And number 10, Artur Beterbiev, that monster
Okay.
at light heavy.
That's
So,
not a bad list.
That's not a bad list.
Yeah, that's not a bad list. Shout out
Yeah.
to Gerardo Milan, who's here and
Hey,
checking it out.
ese Jose. So yeah, top 10, not bad list. You know, they
Let
dropped.
me get back to Crawford.
Okay, go for it.
Didn't Teofimo already outdo Crawford?
Okay, let's get into that. Undisputed, right?
Yeah. And he beat a much 10 times better 50 times better than any opponent Crawford beat at 140.
I would give you that point if if you go by the time he won his undisputed
Yeah.
and the time that if we put him together at that age, because he did it earlier.
See, and that's the thing
Against a
about
better opponent.
and that's the thing about Crawford that people don't know.
Yeah.
He only beat 3 guys to win all the belts. Teofimo beat 2, but 2 much better opponents.
Too
than
much better
Crawford
opponents.
did.
Yes, I'll give you that. But
Crawford also won some bacon belts, which I don't count that as championships. But
okay, you have a little point to that. But is this really undisputed?
casuals are hurt right now.
Like, is this really undisputed?
Yes, it's undisputed. God damn it. I had this conversation with Frankie because
Here we go.
He brought up a very good point.
What do you say? And I know what you're gonna bring.
And this
I
was
got a rebuttal for it. Let's go.
no. I don't think you know what I'm gonna say.
Okay, let's go.
But he asked me. Okay, this was before the fight.
Okay.
Because he already kind of saw this coming. I feel like
Yeah.
that whole undisputed thing was gonna be
Disputed.
Yeah, was gonna be disputed. So he was asking, who is the WBC lightweight champion? And I just sent him a picture of a Ukraine flag.
Okay. Okay.
Because Lomachenko was the champion at the time, right?
Yeah.
He never lost it. Devin Haney never won it, right?
Okay.
And then he somewhat agreed, but I always like people who agree but have a counter argument to their own argument, because I do that a lot.
Yes.
I can argue, I could debate myself, but he said, okay, how come? Because I said Devin Haney is the email champion, right? Like Teofimo said.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, how come people don't call Charlo the email champion at 160?
Okay.
Right? Because he technically didn't win it.
Mm-hmm.
He was upgraded,
Elevated, yeah.
right? And I said, you know what? You bring up a good fucking point.
Good point.
At first, I'm like, well, didn't he fight for it? And he's like, no, he didn't actually beat anybody for that championship. And I'm like, you're fucking right. Yeah. He's an email champion too. God damn it. And he's a Charlo fan.
He's a Charlo fan. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I said, I think it's probably because Canelo, he moves up in weights, right? 168, 175. Yeah. So by the time, in the meantime, Charlo's the champion, right? When Canelo's doing 68, 75.
Yeah.
But at 35, Lomachenko never left 35.
Nobody really skipped. Yeah, he's not doing that.
He's still there.
Yeah.
And he got upgraded to the franchise champion. And to me, I guess that becomes the championship for WBC. And I don't like it because now Haney's gets watered down.
Yeah.
But Lomachenko's still the champion at 35. Was the champion, WBC champion at 35 because he never lost it, and Haney never beat a champion to win it.
Got it. Okay, now, damn. That's exactly where I was going, and you went a little step further. So I completely agree with you when it comes to that. Nonetheless, David Haney still has a title. He is a WBC champ. Yes, upgraded, email champion, elevated. And
that's what I hate, because now the WBC champion becomes the quote-unquote regular right? Yeah. Because you just made a higher one, which I don't like that.
So no, I agree. So in a way, it is undisputed. In a way, it is disputed. You beat the guy.
It's undisputed.
It's undisputed.
Devin Haney hasn't beat any top 135s.
Yeah. So it's like if you give the governing bodies, the power to be like, that title means something, then you're kind of messing with the whole formula.
And look, normally I don't like. Excuse me. Normally, I think Teofimo's dad is very entertaining. Most of the time, I don't agree with him, but he's entertaining nonetheless. Yeah. But I did agree with him saying we're not gonna fight Haney because that's going back. That's lowering our level. Which I agree with that, because you have all the titles now. Yeah. Why are you going for this lesser title? And I'm not calling it that, but in a sense, WBC called it that because they upgraded to the franchise one.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And okay, you bring up a good point. I was gonna say they gotta face Devin Haney, but you're right. That belt is watered down.
Devin Haney has to prove himself.
He bought that.
He hasn't beat anybody even at the level of Comey.
Yeah, he's a really good fighter. Good fighter.
Overrated though. Overrated. I must say, only because everybody rates him really high. Yeah. I can't dispute that he's a great fighter. Yeah. But he still has to prove it. Everybody has their bad days. Yeah. He still has to fight those fights.
I won't say he's a great fighter yet until he proves himself. He's a good fighter, a very good fighter, very skilled, and so I think he could give Teofimo trouble if they ever get in the ring.
Yeah.
But like you said, and like
I put him on the
Teofimo-
Ryan level.
Randall, I have him a little bit higher. A little bit higher.
Well, the belt obviously solidifies him, but
I was-
he hasn't
yeah.
beaten
Mm-hmm.
opponents of high caliber.
Yeah. So in a way, Teofimo is the undisputed champ based on the points you just made. There's still a title out there that's given, and it's being held by a very good fighter that could give Teofimo trouble. But you're right, and Teofimo Jr. is right. He doesn't need to go back. Teofimo or Devin
I'll
Haney.
give you an example.
Devin
It's
Haney
like
needs to prove himself.
it's like when
Make
you
it
win
up.
the Champions League and you got to fight the
The
winner of the Europa,
Europa
League.
League,
It's
yeah.
just like
yeah,
come
it's
on.
like come on, prove yourself.
I already won the tournament.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. This is just like for like
why do I have to face the guy who
consolation.
won the lower tournament?
consolation tournament. Yeah, yeah. So Devin Haney, prove yourself. Get in there with some really good opposition. And that could be a mega fight down the road. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I feel bad for Haney honestly
yeah.
because I don't think he's marketable enough yet
Mm-hmm.
where people will want to fight him.
He's too
Like not even Ryan. Like
What he wants to
yeah,
fight him.
he mentions his name, but it's just like even Tank Davis is still more of a name.
Yeah.
He's more enticing. You'll make more money. Now
Yeah.
Teofimo puts himself up there. If
Yeah.
I fight Teofimo, high risk but high
High
reward.
reward. Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Devin Haney, high risk, low reward.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to
Put your numbers
make
up,
some-
Devin
make-
Haney. I'm sorry. Like he's very skilled, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's
No, I
not how it
agree.
works nowadays, man.
I agree. I have Devin Haney like in that level of like Shakur Stevenson based on like skill wise, but Shakur is much more marketable right now, and so yeah, I like to see that one day. But you're right. Get those
Let
numbers
me-
up, get your
Yeah.
resume up, and then that's a mega fight right there.
What was I gonna ask you? God damn it, I forgot.
You were gonna tell me a lot.
Oh, okay. So this just came up in the news recently.
Mm.
How do you feel about the fact that they're saying now that Lomachenko was injured?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's a good point. We just had the Morataya brothers on this week, and we talked about an injury and how, at times fighters say this, and the audience, the fans take that as an excuse. Especially when a fighter loses, they'll say that, and
Yeah.
a lot of the times they are having injuries. You're in a contact sport, you're sparring,
And they
working out.
cannot say it.
They cannot
Like
say it.
people are so dumb. Well, how come he didn't mention it before the fight? You want your opponent to know that you're hurt?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, in every
Yeah.
interview, you have to say, "I was 1,000% best training camp ever."
mine,
Your
yeah.
ankle might be messed up. Your elbow
Mhm.
might be. You can't let your opponent know that.
Yeah, no, that's and that's exactly what happened. Like in this fight where we had like the Morataya, Gabriel Morataya did not want to. Nobody didn't know.
He
He wanted
lied
it-
to his own dad.
Yeah, he
He
didn't want
lied to his own dad. He didn't want his dad to know because they would have pulled
Exactly.
him out of the fight.
and he wanted to be in this fight because it was the first time he was gonna be in there with his brother, and that was one of his dreams to be in the same fight card as his brother. And so we did the podcast. He showed us the
was
injury.
bad.
That shit was bad. And so
Tore ligament, I believe.
yeah, El Robert, Coach Robert, Robert Garcia, like even mentioned it that they had the injury. They were gonna pull him out. And yeah, injuries do happen. Injuries are they do happen. They're very real. It happens.
So
with
Mike-
Lomachenko,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like I want to it's possible. It's possible he got injured.
Oh, they said he has surgery.
Yeah, it's surgery. Yeah, we saw the pictures and everything. But did that happen before, during the fight or what?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't change my perspective on the fight because I think he won, or I think worst case scenario
did.
was a draw or he lost by a round.
By a round, okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
To me, like you'll never know unless you interview him, unless we fucking have him here and talk to him and then.
No, I'm sure he is injured.
Yo,
but,
he is injured. Yeah,
But I just want to see how you feel about it
yeah.
because obviously we played sports before, like we
Mhm.
know injuries happen. But for those who never played anything in their lives, they play checkers. Maybe there's no injuries in that. Like I hear a lot of people talking smack, like that it was an excuse that he wasn't injured.
Yeah. I don't know. That takes you back to like the Manny Pacquiao
Pacquiao,
Mayweather
yeah.
fight where he talked about the injury. I feel like Pacquiao didn't do enough.
I feel
Even-
like a lot of people do believe that they just like hurt themselves after the fight just so they can have an excuse. Like
Yeah.
I feel like those haters really like
yeah.
they believe that in their mind.
With Loma, he doesn't seem that type of guy to put an excuse. I think he's 30 plus
Yeah.
grown man. I think he's that type of.
Anybody else would have like argued against the
Yeah.
decision,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like, "Fuck it, like I didn't do enough." So.
Yeah. So, yeah, that kind of brings us back to the question: do we want to see a rematch? I do. I would like to see a rematch. I think watching it back the second time, I think Teofimo did enough to convincingly win. I would be interested in see if Lomachenko, gets that recovery and heals that up, and if we could see more of that 8th through 11th, if we could see more of that, then it would be an interesting fight. But yeah, I don't know how much that hindered that fight, and especially the early rounds. So I don't know. There's really like I told Gabe Moratay, who was injured with his his left hand was injured. I couldn't tell that you were injured until until you told us, and then I went back to see the fight and I saw you weren't throwing that left.
And he was telling us how he was only flexing with his right arm the whole time, and we're like, oh, we just thought that was like your new thing, just one flex.
So I mean,
he was like, no, I couldn't even move my left arm.
Yeah, I mean, I can if they run it back, and if we see the Lomachenko of old, getting a win, not just a win, but a convincing win, then maybe I'll be like, okay, that was an injury. But you never know until you see it. So
I don't think I want to see a rematch.
Nah.
Simply because you're giving him away too much size. Like you're fighting a guy who barely makes 135. So you're already down a couple rounds there. Simply based off size, you're gonna lose a couple rounds. I think best scenario for him, he moves to 30.
Yeah.
And I heard an interesting scenario. Catch weight maybe 127 with the monster.
Damn, that's something I think a year ago I was like, that would be like an enticing fight. Just two ultra high skilled, little guys and stuff. I think with the Teofimo was a classic case of chewing, biting too much. Just couldn't chew. It was just too much, too big. We saw this with.
If they're the same size, he wins the fight.
You think so?
Easy.
I won't say easy, but
easy.
I think so. easy.
The way he dominated those 4 rounds, being the smaller man, and possibly having an injury, that'll be too much.
Yeah. It brings me back to that fight with Cano and
Linares.
He just got.
Linares probably a better boxer, but he couldn't handle the power.
Yeah. So the monster and Lomachenko, that would be a crazy chess match to watch. And I feel like they would have spurts of fight breaking out here and there, based on how Inoue fights and based on how Lomachenko fought that 8th through 11th. So that would be a sick fight.
Another fight I would want to see is, assuming he loses, Oscar Valdez against Lomachenko.
Damn.
Both top rank. Both I think are too small for. What is Berchard? 135?
35, yeah. So 130.
I think 130 is best suited for Valdez, and they could do it at 35 with Lomachenko. It doesn't matter because they're the same size. But I think that would be a great fight.
That's a good money fight for both. And if Oscar loses to Loma, I mean, it's expected, and if that's a good money fight for Loma, fighting pretty well known name in Oscar Valdez. So
and that's the thing about Lomachenko. I feel like he could continue to fight for 3-4 more years, comfortably.
Yeah,
he only has 16 fights, but it's those shoulder injuries that make me worry about him. Yeah. Because he fought Pedraza with one arm, basically.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know if he did it again with Teofimo, but yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. But Comics Vet says he'd rather see Teo versus Mikey at 40.
Teo versus Mikey at 40? Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a good fight. I think that's a lot. I think Mikey has a lot of experience at 140. He still has a lot of experience. 147, not his weight class. 40 is where he's most comfortable.
But you see, I agree with Comics Vet. I think Teofimo's too big for 35. Yeah. But the dudes at 40, they got some good size, man.
Yeah.
I think Jose Ramirez is like 6 feet tall, 5'11".
Yeah. You got
Barboza's like 5'10", 5'11". Yeah. Hooker is 6'1". Like, those guys are big, man. They're losing 30 pounds to make 40.
Yeah, I think I favor Teofimo over everybody except Taylor, Ramirez, and Barboza. You know what, Chon? I think Chon gives him a good fight too.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
I think that's.
I don't think he beats
Chon.
See, because a lot of people are giving Teofimo credit for cutting off the ring.
Yeah.
I think he cut off the ring pretty well, but he didn't do anything with it. Right?
Yeah.
If you're chasing a guy like Chon, he's gonna make you pay.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Andy, dude. He's gonna make him pay. But yeah, no, that's. I think that's one of those good little. You're gonna break into the 140s. That Chon is one of those.
There's guys. A lot of top rank at 40.
Yeah. Since in a way, Teofimo cleaned out the
In a way?
135. Since Teofimo cleaned out the
Yeah.
135 in a way, you think that's the next logical step? Want to go to 140?
Yeah, I think he suffers too much to make 35.
Yeah.
He's been talking about 140 for a year or so. So to me, that's not a good sign. I'm pretty sure he could still make it, but I feel like he's gonna be more strong at 40.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a lot of dangerous fighters right now at 40.
Man, he could be the youngest like double weight class
Yeah.
undisputed if he goes after the winner, which would be sick. That'd be crazy.
To me, honestly, I think Barboza and Cepeda are tougher opponents than Ramirez.
Okay.
Because
Based on skill?
based off skill. Because Cepeda, Barboza, they're gonna move, they're gonna box when they have to. They're gonna engage, right? That's why we chose Barboza against Saucedo.
Yeah.
Because Saucedo comes forward no matter what, even if he's getting hit.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ramirez is similar to that.
Yeah.
He's gonna come forward, and he's gonna get hit a lot.
I was gonna say no disrespect to Saucedo. Ramirez is like he's like a 2.0 of that, like a higher version of that.
Yeah.
But again, they're very Robert Garcia based fighters where they come forward.
Why move your head when you got power?
They're there to be hit. But yeah, that's an interesting point. Teofimo's 23 years old, bro.
Yeah.
23, undisputed at 135. He still could put in 2 years. He put in 2-3 years at 140, and then make the big money at 147. And there's mega fights at 147. Welterweight division has been known to be like that lucrative division where you just make.
Yeah, and I think by the time he gets there, he's gonna be the man, right? Maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give it 1 to 2 years for 40, and then maybe another year for 47. By then, most people are gonna be on their way out. So
yeah,
it's all him from there.
Man, we know some young up and coming welterweights, right?
Yeah.
So maybe
But a guy like Virgil Ortiz, I think in a few years he'll be inclined to move up.
Yeah, junior welterweight, middleweight. Man, dude, that's crazy. We talk about the Ryan Garcias, we talk about the Virgil, Ortizes, but right now it's all Teofimo. Like I think there's a lot of people that did not think he was gonna win. A lot of people around, his weight class.
People really underestimated him because everyone's, oh man, he's quick. It's like he's been quick his last 15 fights. Like, what do you?
Yeah. I just didn't think those people did not think he was gonna be quick enough for a Lomachenko.
Motherfucker could do a backflip, son. Like, if you can do a backflip, like, come
what's
on,
an angle?
dude.
What's a cutting off an angle?
If you can do a backflip, like, you're top athlete in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what anybody says.
I think somebody called them. This is kind of clever. Teofimo.
Teofimo?
You see that?
Yeah.
Dude, that was pretty clever. I'm
I
like,
saw that.
good shit.
He's a marketable dude. Like, we were talking about this with Frankie before the fight.
Yeah.
He was saying, like, dude, like, the best thing for boxing is if he wins. And I'm like, hell yeah,
For
dude,
the
because
Hispanic
he's
crowd.
23 years old. Like,
Yeah.
he has another good 10 years in
Yeah.
him. So,
I
and
think.
boxing needs that, man. We need superstars.
Yeah. And you met him. I know we joke about this. That you were disappointed when you were like, man, he's actually
He's
really
too
nice.
nice, man. He's too nice.
But the Hispanic people love that. They love the humbleness, nice. You turn on that switch when you're in the ring, become a beast.
Okay.
People love that.
Okay.
You don't want to be a dick all 24/7.
Shout out to Sean, who's here. Just Boxing. Just Boxing Foundation. Shout out to them. One thing that I feel like was a missed opportunity for Teofimo was pulling out the Honduras flag.
But
This is probably the biggest moment in your career.
Yeah.
How many people watch 4 million on ESPN?
Yeah. Put your country.
Grab all the belts. Grab an American flag. Grab an Honduras flag. You get half the Hispanic population then there. Mexican, Salvadorian, Guatemala, whatever. They're like, oh, this guy, Honduras? Okay, respect. All right. I thought that was a missed opportunity.
Okay, no, we talk about that.
I thought that was a missed opportunity.
We always talk about that anytime you have a camera on
Marketing, man.
you. Ring entrance, post-fight interview, anything. Anytime, like, use those moments. Do you think there's a reason why he didn't want to put the Honduras flag out? Maybe you don't want to, you don't want to turn away the Mexican fans. Do you think?
Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a missed opportunity. If I would have seen that, that would have been plus like 5 points in my books. I would have been like, hell yeah, that's what's up. Put it on for his people.
To me,
especially because Honduras is like underrepresented in everything. You don't hear about Honduras. They're not known for being champions in any sport, right? So if you can wear that flag and people from Honduras can say we got a freaking champion of the world. Look, he got all the belts. That would have been huge to me.
Yeah, and he's a real one because he represented Honduras at the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, so he's a real one. To me, I agree with you on that. I think I'm just gonna add a little bit to that. You know, the U.S. flag, the Honduras flag. You know, and think the Hispanic people. You know, think everybody, los Mexicanos, Hondureños, like everybody. You know, say something in Spanish and that's like the thing about
I'm sorry, dude. Somebody said I had Theo win 10 rounds.
Oh damn!
All right, continue talking.
Shit. Okay, someone. So yeah, to me, like something about the Hispanic people, most of them Mexican fan base, they will latch on to anybody that's Hispanic.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen it with Chino Maidana. We've seen it with Oscar de la Hoya, even though he's like Mexican American. The Hispanic people,
Maravilla Martinez.
Maravilla Martinez, people will gravitate to anybody that's Hispanic as long as they fit the bill. Humble and a monster, like a beast in there. So, do I agree, man? We gotta give him a call and be like, "Yo,
a missed opportunity.
do this, man. Do this."
That could have meant millions of dollars right there.
Yeah.
Now you got people who probably never watch boxing like that, and
Yeah.
they say, "This guy's putting on for the Latinos."
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna watch his next fight for sure. I don't care who he fights.
A lot of people really don't know until they see it. Like, oh shit, he's from Honduras.
Yeah, like
oh, shit,
I'm
like, I
sure
didn't know
nobody
that.
knew.
I thought he was Mexican. Like, and then his whole, you know, I'm sure he's got a bunch of fans from Honduras, but
I'm pretty sure
What's
people were
another-
talking smack because he was talking with the East Coast accent.
yeah,
Like, look at this sellout. His last name is Lopez.
yeah. I'm sure he's gonna have more moments and more opportunities too.
Man.
You know, he'll see this clip. He'll see this clip. But yeah, that's again, props to Teofimo Lopez. I think he shocked a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are envious right now out there that didn't think he would win. And you know, the doors are open for him. We'll see what happens next with
Yeah.
Teofimo.
That was
Lomachenko,
about
where does he go from here?
Lomachenko.
Yeah, for you. If you're his promoter,
You gotta fight a
his
top
manager?
dog, man.
Okay.
Oscar Valdez. Inoue catchweight.
Okay.
Who else is out there that he can fight? There's not too many names. That's the problem. There's not too many names
Yeah.
out there.
The winner of Gervonta.
Gervonta, but even now, even Mayweather, I still don't think he would
Yeah, I
allow
don't think
that.
he would do it. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Yeah,
But that's
top
the thing.
dog, and then be like, I want the rematch.
That's the thing. Look, if Leo Santa Cruz loses, they're gonna say the same thing about him that they said about Mikey Garcia, and they're gonna say the same thing that they said about Lomachenko, right?
Too big. That's why they make weight
No, but
classes.
they're gonna discredit everything they've done before that
Mhm.
because they dare to be great, you know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the people that know, I don't think they'll discredit him.
But you're talking about like,
Yeah. I
what
get
did Roger Mayweather say?
Some people know shit about boxing. So yeah, we pose this question: what fighter has it tougher? You know, fighting the younger, bigger opponent. You know, we pose that
I think
question.
Leo.
You think Leo? Yeah. Okay. So, I think a lot of people thought Leo. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, we saw Lomachenko, you know, not get the decision. Seeing that now, do you still think Leo has it tougher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what happens. I think there's weight classes for a reason, and I think it's gonna be a very, very tough fight against the bigger, younger Tank Davis. If you guys saw the All Access, very good episode. They touched a lot about their background stories. You know,
Jesus says Haney versus Loma. That'd be a good fight.
that'd be a good fight.
Haney is bigger though.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna run into the same type of problems. Obviously, he doesn't have Teofimo power, but
Mm-hmm.
30, man, 30.
Yeah.
Or fight a small 35 like Valdez, you know.
Yeah.
Guys like Berchelt, stay away from them.
You already saw, man. You already saw these guys are trouble. Big guys, 135 is
Yeah.
is a little too big for Loma.
But that was
But
like
yeah.
an hour, Chris.
I think we touched on a lot.
Yeah, I heard somebody say he won 10 rounds. So
Who was that? Don't
just
tell me it was.
move on.
Don't tell me it was.
Just move
Jose.
on.
Don't tell me it was Jose.
No,
Okay.
no, I don't know who it was, but Haney versus Still.
We touched a little bit on that, right?
Yeah, we touched a little bit on that, and then you can watch the first part of the show if you think Teofimo won 10 rounds, right?
Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah.
There's no way.
All right. Undercard. Arnold Barboza Jr. against Alex Saucedo.
Okay, so
And we could go over this one briefly.
yeah.
I think.
So yeah, that one we put on a little bias hats a little bit, right? Even though we try to be
I said it. I'm gonna be biased, but I still.
we try to be impartial, but we talked a little bit about this. What did we say for him to beat him? You know, Saucedo is a come forward fighter. You know, there to be hit. If Barboza can stick to boxing, he should win a comfortable decision. Obviously, you know, we're there watching the fight. we're pulling for Barboza. He's I think you mentioned it, right, Gio, that he wasn't boxing him at first. He kind of wanted to, stand with him and trade. Let him know that he's not intimidated by the come forward Mexican style, type of fight that Saucedo was putting out. And after a while, he started boxing. I think he did good. He made it. It was still a competitive fight. Could have been a lot easier than they should have, but I think he did just enough. And obviously, we've talked about Barboza. We know how much this means to him. Waiting for fights, getting those big wins, and then being shelved because of COVID 2020. So yeah, man, it was enjoyable. What were your thoughts on that?
Huge win. It was kind of like the outcome we expected, right? We kind of knew Barboza just had more weapons in his arsenal.
Yeah.
He showed it. He went toe to toe with him. He boxed when he had to. He went southpaw, which he was kind of getting hit when he was southpaw.
Yeah.
But to me, he was just trying to throw him off a little bit and confuse him. And I think that's a good strategy against a guy like Saucedo, who's gonna come forward regardless, right?
Yeah.
You want to give him different looks. At the end of the day, it worked for Barboza, and just happy that he won, man. Mamba mentality,
Yeah.
right? Mamba mentality.
Yeah, no, I know up until the week we were just reminding people of that fight, that he was in the undercard. I know Lomachenko Teo was taking all the attention, right? But a big fight for Barboza, long time coming. I know he had a fight a couple months ago, and this was, the opportunity, that Bob Arum and Top Rank presented to both of these men. Yeah, they're both good fighters, solid fighters. They're both, fighting for, for that title shot. Saucedo has already had that shot and, came up short, and now it's Barboza's chance, and hopefully he gets a title shot against one of the winners of Ramirez, Taylor. And yeah, man, long time coming. We know the struggle. He was a former football player, 200 plus pounds, coming back to boxing in his late teens. So yeah, not an easy road for him, but yeah, great win. Can't wait to see what's next.
Let me go back. Jesus said a very good question. He said, what are some flaws in Teo versus Loma that Teo needs to improve on? We kind of touched on it a little bit, right? But what would you say, just briefly?
Some of the flaws in Teo. I think his conditioning was good, but there's some moments where you saw some of that conditioning, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th rounds.
Anytime you lose 4 rounds in a row in a fight, that's kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But he did close it out really well.
He closed it out well. He showed the will, the heart of a true champion. That's something that impressed me, because I think Loma knew he needed that round. He knew he was maybe 2-3 rounds behind, and he needed something big, and Teofimo didn't let him have it. So for me, that would be it. I mean,
I think.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think there were many rounds where he was only throwing about 40 punches against a guy his size and his skill. He's probably gonna have to increase that output, be more efficient, be more effective.
Yeah.
He missed about 70-something% of his punches in this fight, so that wasn't very good. I think there were a lot of flaws, but he did enough to make it where it was 7-5 his way or a draw. Right. But yeah, against somebody bigger, if he wants to move to 140, he can miss 70-something% of his punches. He can't take those rounds off. At the end, I feel like he felt like he needed that 12th round, and that's why it was a big round for him. But against a guy, let's say like Barboza, like Cepeda, like Ramirez,
Can't get away with those.
You're not gonna win landing 7 out of 40 punches.
Because these guys will be able to take your side, like your power, your punch, and they will be a little bit more effective. Barboza, for sure, I think he could be more effective based on he has more of a boxing, technique style. And so, yeah, I agree. Got to get those that efficiency up. Yeah, of course, he was in there with Lomachenko.
Head movement, he says. Head movement.
Head movement,
That
sure.
Lomachenko jab was landing at will.
Yeah.
That second half of the fight, I think they said he landed like 50% of his jabs, which is kind of unheard of in a championship fight. When somebody's throwing 2 jabs and they're landing 1. Like that's not a good look for Teo, but
just clean up the defense, I guess, for sure. So and that efficiency, that punch efficiency, for sure.
And more combos too. Yeah, I agree with that. Now 140 Barboza puts his name up there. He's told us he has to be patient because Ramirez and Taylor they still gotta
do their thing.
Yeah. First they gotta agree to fight because everybody says they want to fight each other, right? But unless the contracts are signed, we just never know.
I'm like, Bob, just add another 0, bro. Just make it happen. Shit.
Just one more 0.
It's all in house.
All right, so going back to that, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt that point for a bit because Sean says defense and head movement. Dale was hurt more than once. If someone at 40 brings the pressure from the beginning, it would be difficult for Dale. Have to up that defense, and I would agree too. And Jesus says Loma was hurt too. I never saw Lomachenko hurt in this fight. I think one punch hurt him. The low blow.
Okay, so when
Remember the low blow?
Yeah,
I think that's the only one that hurt him.
So when we say hurt, we normally say like a little bit like stumbling on your feet, you know, like where you're
And
hurt.
I never saw that by Lomachenko.
For sure.
Dude, Lomachenko is a guy who's always moving.
Yeah.
Right? He's always moving regardless. So a lot of people, I feel like optics, once again, because Lomachenko, his back was never against the ropes. He did go back against the ropes and bounce back a couple times, right?
Yeah.
So optics, people, he's getting hurt. We were listening to Timmy, he's getting hurt. But I never really saw him hurt in this fight, which I was surprised because Teofimo landed some good uppercuts and some good body shots.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was enough to discourage Loma from that the second half of the fight. He was just fighting in the pocket the whole time. He was just moving his head and moving sideways the whole time.
And that's something that they talked about. That he had to take chances, and when he finally, had the courage to jump in there and get in the pocket, that's where he started having success. And so I guess that's what people wanted to see more. But hurt, not seriously hurt. Maybe he got touched up though throughout the fight. That's why he was so gun shy.
Yeah, I'm just
He has
gonna
a good
put up
poker face. He has a good poker face. So
I'm just gonna put up these sponge stats. Like I said, rough estimates. So just for if people haven't seen them yet, but I feel like it's a good enough
barometer.
Yeah, barometer of what happened throughout the fight. Like people were saying it was a blowout. Like, I don't know what you're probably drinking what the judge was drinking, right? The 119 judge. Yeah, because that was definitely not the case in this fight. Teofimo was very ineffective, and that's why I didn't give him a lot of rounds, simply because I'm a boxing fan, right? I like the sweet science. If you're missing 80% of your punches, I'm kind of like, if you're only out punching, like outlanding your opponent by 2 punches, and you had to throw 35 more to get there, I'm like, yes, that's not very good, man.
Yeah.
Just like I asked you, right? Who would you rather take the last shot, Danny Green or KCP?
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna go with the guy who has a higher percentage.
True.
Right. But that's not always the case in every sport. But
did you see the video where Robert Garcia said that Lomachenko needs to come and train at his gym? Did you catch that or no?
No.
So Robert Garcia, they interviewed him.
I saw a headline where it says Teofimo should come to my gym.
That's the one. So
for sparring or
for
something.
Sparring, and we just had the Moretaya brothers 2 days ago. And Robert, shout out to the Moretaya brothers. They were, super cool. Opened the doors for us. Good hospitality. Good guys, funny guys. One of the things to Ray, you will never see him serious unless you watch that podcast because he was smiling the whole time. If you know Ray, meet Ray. He's very serious, very stoic. Just all business, right? Just there to do what he has to do. But yeah, he sent Lomachenko a message like, you should have been out. You need to come and spar at our gym, spar Moratayas and stuff. So he was talking about Ray. So that's interesting. And so
dude, Lomachenko's sparring bears over there in the Ukraine. Come on.
Man, and so one of the points I was gonna make was like Ray. We asked Ray if he was surprised with the outcome, and he was like, "Yeah, I thought Mama was gonna pull it out." As many people thought, that he was gonna pull it out.
I think he boxed very well. Like, obviously, if you don't watch boxing like that, you'd be like, oh, this fool got wiped out. But I felt like he boxed very well.
Okay.
Like, to be able to keep the bigger, stronger puncher off you for that long, for 12 rounds, basically.
Yeah.
Because I never saw him hurt. But his foot movement was great. I feel like maybe a little excessive. Like, it was too good because he was moving too much.
Honestly, I think the footwork, the defense kept him from getting hurt, bro. I think that was so good that he kept the big guy from really hurting him.
Go watch the second half of the fight. He was within distance, with his strike distance of Teofimo the whole time. Yeah. Teofimo was going back in a lot of those rounds. Yeah. Right, but I don't know. I guess everybody just kind of sees it their own way. I don't know.
Because I'll take it back to another fight, old school fight. Meldrick Taylor, when he went up to fight Terry Norris, it's kind of like when he went up in weight to fight the guy at that weight class, and the bigger guy was not as skilled as the smaller guy, but he was just stronger. And Meldrick Taylor got knocked out. This is a fight after Chavez Sr. And so it just shows, even as a small guy, Lomachenko has very great defense, like very good defense, great foot movement. It kept him from getting, more hurt. But
I think the only thing you have to criticize is the lack of output, right? In the first half.
In the first half.
In the second half, I think he threw more punches than Teofimo.
Because you can make the argument if he would have done that earlier, he could have given
even
the 12th round.
If he steals 2 to 3 rounds in the first half of the fight, he wins, right?
Yeah. And so even if he loses that 12th round, which obviously as a champion you want to close out the show, but if he would have done that 2-3 more rounds, 3, I would say 3 just to be sure, he would have pulled out the fight convincingly. So
yeah, Teddy Atlas had it a draw, I believe.
I saw that. Yeah.
He gave him, I believe, the second, the 7th through probably 11th.
The 11th, yeah. So 1 and 5.
And then Andre Ward had it a draw.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for you guys saying it was a blowout, I don't know, man. Boxing fans are weird.
I mean, I can see it 8-4 for Teo. So if you want to call that a blowout, but that's 116-112. But
but look, I would disagree with Comics Vet, who says Teo had too much pressure and punches for Loma to really engage in the first half. He's only throwing 40 punches in a lot of those first rounds, or even less. So it wasn't like Paul Williams coming at you throwing 100 punches per round, you know.
Yeah, but
I think it was just the game plan.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he felt comfortable throwing back at the few punches that Teofimo was throwing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Comics, dude. I think that those few ones that he threw out were just enough.
Yeah, I agree. It was a few punches, but he said it was a lot of punches, which that's not the case.
No. So his point is that he threw a lot of volume, didn't land all of them, but just the volume kind of made him uneasy. So they don't always have to land, but they kind of serve their purpose. Whether it's just throwing it out there, it just keeps Loma on edge, not get a rhythm going. Just a little fearful of that power. A little too much respect is what people called it. He was showing too much respect, and so yeah, he stopped showing respect in the 8th for sure. And then that's when we got hella excited because they're like, "He's coming on! Like this is."
Which I think that's a decent game plan, right? Because the second half, to him, he's like, I could win the second half of the fight. Okay. All I got to do is win one in the first 1 through 6. And he almost did it. But Teofimo won that 12. Big.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, when you face a bigger guy, you kind of have to make him, pay. I guess you're not supposed to wait.
Fuck that. I ain't getting knocked out.
Yeah. I think you just wait. I think he should have gotten it going.
I mean, look at Mikey. He never got hurt against Spence. He was on defensive mode the whole time. Imagine he would have came forward. Hell no. He would have got hurt.
Yeah. I think they made that comparison as well. I think Robert made that comparison. But I want to see a rematch, but I want to, like you said, I want to see Loma. It's weird to say it for the former top 3 pound for pound to need to earn it. I think he needs a big fight. And Oscar Valdez is a good one where you get that big win with a good name. And then you're like, you know what? Let's run it back. But we don't know. We'll see.
But maybe. I don't think Teofimo is
going to be 35. Exactly. I was going to say that he might.
I think that's the only reason he took this fight. Because Teofimo did seem a little doubtful in himself. And that's why he was, I feel like, so excited after the fight. Rightfully so. But I think he was like, it's now or never for me. Because 35, how much longer am I going to stay here? Yeah.
In a way, it was the smartest. Because you have really nothing to lose. If you lose to Lomachenko, you have nothing to lose. You win. You hit the jackpot, which he did. But man, the Teofimo's on cloud 9 right now, dude. Everything's opening up for him, and rightfully so. So yeah, props to him.
You just got to be careful, man. 140. If he fights like this, that's not gonna be good for him, man.
So Gio's calling it like if he trips and falls at 140, all this high could be, boxing is the game of the hype, and
people are saying he skipped Loma on that pound for pound. Stop it.
I wouldn't say skip. I say you kind of knock him off a little bit.
How you jump like 30 spots? Like what do you think? What do you think people ranked Teofimo before that on their pound for pound? It's probably 25.
I would say top
20.
I think being generous, maybe top 20 , but high 18, 19.
I don't understand people. Like, how do you get one win? Obviously against a great opponent. Smaller than you, yes, but still a great opponent. You get all the belts, but how do you skip 20 spots?
Yeah, that's a lot. I say you just barely crack the top 10, and then there's still work to do. Because something I do give, obviously, respect to Teo for winning this fight, in my opinion, and then respect to him for some of the stuff he said in the previous interviews where he's like, I'm not stopping right here at Lomachenko. I still have more work to do on 23. There's still gonna be more opponents, bigger
Yeah,
opponents.
I like that he's being very ambitious.
Yeah. So it's like there's more to do. So,
And that's why I'm not. That's why I feel like a lot of people are mad that the scorecards are that wide because
Yeah.
we need Teofimo in the sport. Like
Yeah.
fuck it, who cares if the judge saw it 119, whatever she saw it.
The thing is, a lot of people are comparing this fight to Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo in a way where it's like the green, up and coming youngster could be the face of
Canelo
boxing.
didn't have a
one day.
belt though.
He didn't have
right?
a belt.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But he's fighting the face or like the legend, the pound for pound of boxing, and a lot of How did you see that fight? You saw Canelo coming up short, right, against Mayweather?
Of course, one.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure.
One judge had it a
Just
draw.
make-
One judge had it a draw. So I'm
Yeah.
like, come on.
Damn, gotta get their name and we'll add it to the list of bad judges.
Canelo did win some few rounds. I
A
think he
few,
won
yeah.
like
3.
in the first like 4 rounds. I think he won a couple,
I think he
dude.
won like 1 or 2.
But after
3.
that, it was
It's all
no.
Mayweather. Yeah, so I think a lot of people were expecting that, like, oh, you got nothing to lose. You're gonna, you're fighting the smaller but much more skilled opponent in Lomachenko. But dude, he did just enough, and now he's doing what I guess a lot of people thought Canelo was gonna do at 23, 22. I don't know what age he fought Mayweather, very young still, but yeah,
So
still a
they're
lot to
saying,
do.
they're saying Loma won't box until late January. Probably. He's probably gonna. I would say even longer, dude, because you gotta let that heal.
Yeah.
If it's the same one as the one he had before,
Hmm.
you gotta let that heal, man.
Yeah, we talked to Gabe,
He's
and
32 years old.
Gabe has an injury, different injuries, but still
Yeah,
It
he
takes
said
months.
he was. Yeah, he
Takes
said he
months.
was gonna be out for a while.
So yeah, it takes months to recover.
Sean says Dale versus Chon.
Yeah, we talked about it. That could be.
Yeah, and to me, Chon wins if he fights the way he fought Lomachenko,
Chon has more experience, right?
and he's bigger, more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna make you pay more,
Yeah.
longer reach.
Yeah, that one's gonna be interesting. That could be. That's the next step. So yeah, mine is respect to Dale because he's got greatness, like in his
Yeah.
mind. That's what he's searching for, and so we talked about it with Coach Gloria. Shout out to Coach Gloria. We talked
Yeah.
about legacy, right? What fighters have to do, to become legends, to establish legacy. Then Teofimo brought up a good point. I don't know if you saw this clip where he's all like, to become Money Mayweather, you have to be pretty boy first, which is fighting all those guys that people don't think
That's
you
so
could beat.
cliche.
That is
But
very
I like the
cliche.
one where he talked about Davis.
Okay, what do you say?
He was saying that the media hypes up a lot of fighters, which I agree with.
Yeah.
And he says Davis is fighting a 126 pounder, which that's not 100% correct. But
Mhm.
he's saying, why are you fighting smaller people? Like you guys hype up all these fighters which Teofimo fought a smaller fighter.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it was
But I
pound for
like that
pound.
he was calling them out. I like that he was
Yeah.
calling them out, calling out the media for hyping up fighters
Yeah.
when they haven't really showed
Mm-hmm.
that level,
That
I
level.
suppose.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guy George Rosso. He says, "I'm trying to see Chris versus Gio.
Different
We
weight
gotta
classes,
spar
bro.
it. We gotta we gotta spar and we'll put it on tape.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Different weight classes, man. With the
Prepare me
catch weight.
for Sean's
for
fight, dude.
Sean, yeah. Sean's out there. He's
Sean
watching.
says I'm ducking him.
You're ducking Sean? Damn, dude, you've been talking about this fight for like a year. Like, oh, my promoter. What, I gotta talk to my manager. See if that's
The money's
right
gotta be
fit.
right. We need fans there in attendance.
We need fans. We just got to 1K, guys. Like, we need a couple more, right?
No, but I'm saying we need fans in attendance.
Oh, we do. That's true.
Yeah.
Gio does not fight unless there's a crowd. He feeds off the crowd.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna be talking to myself. You got this.
It's like I'm just hearing the jab, man. Like landing. I'm getting bored.
Nobody's
No.
clapping. Like y'all don't see this. I'm
Right.
putting a beating on this guy.
No, but shout out to everybody that's tuning in.
He said Loma is not small.
Loma's not small. Loma's small. Loma's small. I saw him at the workout for I want to say Crola. He's a good size. Yeah.
The thing is, Teofimo has like a wide frame. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The film was just like a.
I don't know. I
full-course
think this
meal.
guy hates Lomachenko.
Who?
Jesus M.
Jesus.
I
What's
don't know.
up,
He's
bro?
been saying all these comments this whole time.
What is
I'm
he
trying to
saying?
ignore it, but I think I'm gonna have to call you out, bro.
What is he saying?
He's the one who scored it 10-2.
Oh, come on, Jesus. Jesus. I know we all got a bias, but you got to put that aside and be like, you know what? 8-4. I can see 8-4. I can see 8-4. I can see 7-5, but 8-4.
Yeah, those
I
three
agree with
rounds.
you.
I'm telling you, those 3 rounds where Teofimo only outlanded Loma by couple punches.
Mm-hmm.
He threw like 30 something more,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, they got to about the same number of punches
Yeah.
landed. So it's all about, to me at least, it's all
See.
about how you judge those. Do you
Yeah.
like the guy who's coming forward, messing a lot but throwing,
Yeah.
or do you like effective aggression? I
Yeah.
suppose.
See, that's the thing. That, like, if there's a saving grace, is like we saw those the 8-3-11 that can warrant for a
Yeah.
rematch. That thing that you touched on, a lot of people that don't follow boxing don't touch on is like the effectiveness of, the punch to land ratio, and then the defensive end on
I was telling Frankie like Teofimo is punching air 70% of the time.
Yeah, a lot of people just like his volume and his the eye catching shots, but those two, and then mix it in with the injury. You know what? Like, go fight somebody like an Oscar Valdez, get that win, get a good win under your belt, convincing win, and then if Teofimo hasn't moved on, and if he's not too big, then maybe. But at the same time, I think the ship has sailed. I think too little, too big. Like this is the moment to fight. They fought, and I think that's it.
Yeah, and then I feel like Loma might need a tuna fight if that injury's serious.
Mm-hmm.
Just to test it out. It seems like his tuna fight was against Pedraza last time he injured it.
So yeah.
Which is crazy, but
Yeah, I agree. I think Teo's gonna be too big. I think by next year he's gonna be 140.
them COVID pounds, dude.
Yeah, and he got all the belts. And David Haney, although a very good fighter.
So we
has
came to an
experience,
agreement, right? Teofimo's undisputed.
Yeah, you brought up
Haney, no.
You brought up some
Haney,
good points. You brought
like-
up some good points, even though that belt's still out there. Yeah, I don't think Teofimo's gonna care about that WBC, even though it's like one of the most sought out belts. Everybody wants that green belt. But yeah, they make that fight. If they make that fight right now,
Chet is actually 30, huh? I just
yeah, 130
I had to correct myself earlier. I
Yeah.
said he was 35, but
130.
even 30, I still think stay away from him, Loma.
Yeah,
Better chill.
even 130.
Yes.
That could be a fight that. Because I think 2 years ago we were like, it's still Loma over Berchel. I
See,
think
he said at least Theo threw punches, not Loma. And that's the...
is that Jesus?
Yes.
Hey, our friend Chewy. I agree with the first half. Lomachenko gun shy.
We're getting redundant now.
We're getting redundant, man. We're
Yeah.
going back.
So Jesus also said Diego Pacheco versus Berlanga.
Interesting. Diego Pacheco. I think
He's fighting this Friday, Diego Pacheco. I had the honor of watching him train with Andy last Friday. Last day of training camp, so it was light work. And yeah, he seems ready, man. He seems excited. It doesn't seem like the pandemic hurt him too much, but he has not fought in 8 months, he told me, since the Jesse Vargas fight against Mikey. So he's just ready, dude. He's ready.
I saw your videos. I'm a person that's like, if I see something, I'll tell you. Okay, so
What'd you see?
since
I'm intrigued.
working with Andy, we talk about the when they're working out. Like, I was like, man, this guy's a dad bod. Like the Mikey has like little dad bod. Since working with Andy, I seen Diego Pacheco a little bit más stocky, más like cut up more.
Well, he is only 19,
He's only
man.
19.
We forget.
But
He's
see,
only 19.
He's 19, but I'll tell him, like, dude, he had like a little dad body like last year, Now he's working with Andy Aguilar. Shout out to Andy Aguilar, one of the best strength and conditioning. I think one of the best strength and conditioning coach out there in boxing. But yeah, I see Diego
Subscribe to his
Pacheco.
YouTube channel. Is up there. AGNB Sports, all gas, no breaks. It's up there now, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm gonna let you continue. I'll plug it later on.
So I see him. I see his arms defined. His body's más like everything's a little bit more defined. So I'm like, oh, he's putting in work with Andy. And then you did an interview with him, right? And he's like, I'm not just saying this just because on camera.
Yeah.
He's like, I feel better. My punches feel like he feels it. And so like I see a smile. When you're like doing PR work,
That's a scary smile.
yeah. When you're doing PR work, like you do it for like the camera, you can see like that crack smile. No,
Yeah.
his smile was legit, like boom. I know he meant it. Like, we're gonna see some work. He's already scary. What? How tall is he?
6'4".
6'4". He's already scary.
I
At
told
19.
him you're probably gonna grow 1 or 2 more inches.
Yeah, man. I think there's gonna be. I don't know who he's fighting really, but
He's fighting a guy. I saw Andy posted it. 12 wins, I believe.
Okay.
10 KOs. I'm not sure.
So
I gotta look at the records.
We
have laptops. We should be pulling this up, but
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that fight for sure. We already see like the work that Andy did with Joan Cepeda. Crazy knockout, fight of the year. They traded like 8 knockdowns for a piece, something like that. And we saw the work that Andy did with another fighter who came up close to Luis Neri. Came up short, but much better performance than many people expected. Made Luis Neri look not so good. So
but
yeah,
that's this Friday.
This Friday.
9-0, Diego Pacheco, 7 KOs, if I'm not mistaken. So looking for number 10. That's on the undercard of Chocolatito. I haven't looked up too much. I haven't looked up too much of this card. I know Estrada's fighting, El Gallo Estrada's fighting Carlos Cuadras once again. Or they haven't fought, have they?
I'm not sure. Well, they're fighting this week. So.
I think they have a Cuadras fought Chocolatito. Cuadras fought Soren Visa as well, right?
Yeah. So they've all fought each other. I don't think these two have fought.
Yeah. So this should be a good fight. Yeah. Cuadras has been inactive from what I know, at least more so than Estrada. And Estrada right now is on a roll, man. Just beat Soren Visa, and that should be a great fight. Yeah. Pacheco's on that card. And yeah, that's that. That's on the zone this Friday.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Gallo Estrada and Chocolatito, I feel like they're on a collision course. They fought. I remember seeing them.
They're setting it up.
I remember seeing them fight like on Solo Boxeo maybe 5 years ago, and that was a very good competitive fight. Chocolatito won that fight that time around. He was just, on his peak. He's making a little comeback, getting a good win against an undefeated fighter in Yasai. So he's coming back. Gallo Estrada, Chocolatito seems like it's going to be on a collision course.
Yeah, it should. I think it's happening next if they both win.
I think they have to.
Yeah.
So much money to make for two of the best little guys out there. And, man, Gallo Estrada wants he wants that revenge. He wants to clear that loss. Yeah. And he is a champ now. Like, he is the champ. So, can't wait to see that, man, if it happens.
Yeah, and then we kind of skipped over Berlanga, right, a little bit, but another first-round KO.
Dude,
monster. We're trying to schedule a podcast with him soon. He said he was down, but he's been everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
I saw him, obviously he was in Vegas. Then I saw him with Snoop in Hollywood. And then I saw him in Miami posting pictures. Like, this guy's everywhere, so we'll wait another week, I suppose.
We'll wait one more week until, like, the messages, like, get lower. Yeah. And then now he seems like a cool dude. Man, yeah. We'll get some good conversations, some good stories. Man, dude, I'm still laughing because you're like, let's get the fucking groceries, bro. So dude,
I'm just like, pick any chips, dude. Like, 2 for $5 there.
2 for $5, 2
Who
for
cares
6?
about
Who doesn't matter? We'll see
the flavor. Let's go.
But yeah, dude.
I was like, I'm gonna wait in the car. As soon as you guys get in the car, I'm gonna let's go.
Was there ever any doubt that he was gonna get that knockout in the first?
I think so, because a lot of people are saying his opponent was gonna be a little tougher than the ones before. And it's 3 minutes, dude.
Like 3 minutes,
it's 3 minutes. Like,
yeah. If I was like how the other guy, like if I'm the other guy, do I want to break his streak? I'm moving. I would be moving the whole time. Like,
that's the thing.
Man, let me at least get to the second.
You really have like 2.5 minutes because your opponent can choose to just run the 30.
Exactly.
Like, hold, grab.
I'll be grabbing, holding, acting like I'm like, I don't know, like I draw my mouth guard, something. I'd be like, hell yeah, I got to the second round.
Yeah, but that's Berlanga, man. Very exciting prospect, 168. He's a monster, right? That's what he said.
Yeah.
Those are his words. And wow, that guy's scary, man.
So someone said him and Pacheco? That's what they said?
Yeah, and then Jesus, he just said Callum Smith versus Berlanga. I think Berlanga knocks him out right now. I'm not too big on British boxers.
Interesting.
I saw him struggle against Ryder.
Okay.
He does pack a punch, though, Callum Smith.
Yeah, he's got it.
But you know how I feel about British fighters.
You say they fight over here overseas, they choke, they fall short. I mean, we talked about this. The British fans are some of the best fans out there.
Shout out to them, man.
If I was British, bro, they would say like this guy's like the best. Like they'll hype me up so high, like I wouldn't even believe it. So it's like no, they got the best fans.
They're amazing. They're a little too amazing.
Too amazing.
You get a few wins on your belt, and you're like, I'm the world champ. What's up,
bro? If I was out there, they'd be like, oh yeah, Christian can fight anybody. I'm like, yo, hold on, bro. Shoot, chill, man.
Have you seen this guy, Christian, bro? 2-0, 2 knockouts, bro.
Like, bro, chill. Let me get like some
majority decisions. But you know what that means? That means he had to earn it, bro. He is ready for this, mate.
Damn. It's a marketing team all itself right there, bro. But yeah.
And you'll have your own champ by 5 wins. I guarantee you're going to have your own champ.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to the British fans.
Shout out to them, and shout out to all the Liverpool fans. Yeah.
Good shit. But yeah, okay.
Sean says I got to send him the contract. We could do Instagram. Woo! Like Mike and Roy. Damn, are you in shape, Sean? He hasn't done a podcast, so I don't know. Maybe he's setting me up. Maybe he's like super ripped right now,
right?
And he's trying to catch me
from like the neck down, dude. He's making it seem like he's not in shape. From he's like all ripped, like Ned Flanders.
Yeah, dude. I think he's trying to set me up.
Man,
it seems like he's trying to do it as soon as possible. He might be running like miles every day.
I think so. I be smart. Set it out 2-3 months out. Talk to Andy, and then we'll get it going.
Yeah,
I'll promote that. For sure.
It said, so Jesus was asking when do we do lives? Normally we haven't done them lately
Mm-hmm.
because we've been kind of on the road.
Yeah.
We've done some podcasts elsewhere. Right now we're home. Normally we try to do it once a week, right?
Yeah,
At
yeah.
least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Normally Thursday, Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Thursdays.
But it all kind of depends because it depends when we have guests. We have to kind of work around that.
Their schedule.
Like it's difficult to schedule. Like
yeah.
a lot of times it takes like up to a month to
It
set
does,
up a
dude.
day because things come up and
Yeah.
and people give us one date or this date and different times. We kind of got to figure it out. So we try to work around it, but
Yeah.
we try once a week, Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Normally Tuesday, Thursdays. Subscribe to Against the Ropes _ on Instagram. We normally like let people know when we're having a podcast a couple days before.
Instagram, that's
or
where
the
we
day
post
of.
it. Yeah.
So just subscribe to that. Look at the stories and you'll get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get like a good day going. More like you said, most of the days we do like Tuesday,
this week we
Thursdays.
did Tuesday, right?
Tuesday,
and Thursday.
and then
so
Thursday.
so we'll try one Tuesday or
Yeah.
Thursday, either or. But Instagram is where mostly we try to post it up or let you guys
Yeah.
give you guys a heads up.
Yeah, like Gio said, we try to work with the fighters' schedules because they do sparring Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? And so Tuesday, Thursday seems to be like the days that fit the most. So it's like they don't want to come when they just beat up or they got they're doing sparring Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Tuesday, Thursday seems to
We've
be like
adopted the boxer schedule.
right.
We don't spar, but we still
We don't spar, but
we
that's
act
the
like
thing.
we're tired those days.
Exactly.
All right, let me go through some comments
Yeah.
because I feel like I fell behind here. Sorry guys if I didn't read all of them. But we try to keep the conversation flowing. Comics Vet says y'all rooting for another LA team to win the title.
Oh.
Dodgers. Do you
That's
think they're
right.
gonna win, Comics Vet? And you guys in the comment section, do you think the Dodgers are gonna win? Because all I heard for the past 4 years is that they
Yes.
make it. It's like LeBron. They make it. See, and I can't even make that joke this year because they
'Cause he
won it
won, yeah.
because AD won it for him. But they make it and they lose. Unfortunately, I want them to win it because I'm gonna rep any
Yeah,
LA
LA
team
team.
except for Clippers. But
Yeah, that's the thing. We're from Long Beach.
they can only be one.
yeah. There can only be one.
Dodgers, baseball,
Baseball.
basketball, of course, the
Lakers.
winning team,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Bang.
Bang.
LA, they're still battling it out for soccer,
Yeah.
for football, right?
Yeah.
For American football, I don't know. I guess it's the Rams
Rams, I think.
because Chargers nobody claims them. It's kind of sad.
They're
but
San Diego. So
and then
Yeah.
like the Kings for hockey.
for hockey, the Ducks, man, but they're Anaheim, right? They're still Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, we'll rep any LA team as long as like they have some history.
So let's see. George says Mares versus Ryan. You think Ryan gets him?
I think Brian gets it bigger.
Yeah, I think Ryan
It's
gets
bigger.
him, bro. Like he's
Yeah. If there's something you learn from
Mares is kind of like maybe shorter than me.
I
Dude.
think so. Yeah.
Teofimo, well, when I met Teofimo, he was like about a half an inch taller than me, and I'm not tall at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he struggles at 40 against
Yeah.
the bigger guys. But maybe he grew a little bit. I don't know. That was like April 2019.
Yeah.
Krola Lomachenko. That's when I met him.
Yeah, Ryan. I think Ryan. If there's anything you like, this fight has taught you is like there's weight classes for a reason. There's
Right.
size for a reason. And so Teofimo, even though he's 23, you could say he's a little green still, but that just that speed, that youth, that power, that size, that kind of just all played into the outcome of this fight. So yeah, definitely Ryan, just size and speed and youth.
That
and
left hook, that's it.
that hook, yeah.
That's the one that's going to get Luke Campbell.
Yeah.
Knockout, guaranteed.
It might as
Bang, bang.
bang bang. If Mares
No
has
boxing,
been
no life.
if Mares has been knocked out by a smaller guy,
I don't think he's fighting again.
I don't think so. So
That eye injury seems serious. But
Yeah.
let me get to some comments here. Jesus says, do you guys watch Telemundo fights and Mexico fights?
here and there.
I used to a lot. I
Yeah.
remember watching like Andy Ruiz on those Telefutura fights.
Yeah, it's a little
Not so
sad.
much anymore because we're adults now. So weekends is kind of like we
Yeah,
just hang out, watch movies or whatever.
we used to watch most of those solo book sale fights on Fridays.
Heck
right?
yeah, dude.
That used to be, but now
Yeah.
it's like girlfriend. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, solo book sale. That's when we saw like Chocolatito and Gallo Estrada. I remember seeing Danny Garcia on the solo book sale fights when he was, up and coming. I'm like, man, who's this kid? Who's the freaking dad that's like talking all this shit? But he's kind of funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, solo book
But
sale.
let me tell you a quick story. When I went to Cancun,
Yeah.
at nighttime they were showing some fights,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the main event was a women's fight, and it was crazy. It was
Yeah.
tight.
Okay.
It was. I think the fights were taking place in Cancun as well, and they were televising it, and they were crazy fights. So
Yeah.
that was pretty dope. Like watching Mexicans fight in Mexico and the Spanish commentators, Mexican commentators. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, no, I was gonna bring up that point. Like on Solo Boxeo, you normally get like, the fights that we call, ringside. So we do ringside commentary right here in SoCal. You get those fights where people like are very evenly matched. Dude, they gotta make a name for this. So they're very action packed fights. So those are some of the best fights you'll see. The Solo Boxeo, the up and coming fighters in SoCal, in Mexico, like some of the best fights. So definitely, I'm gonna try to make time to watch some fights on Friday for sure. Cause yeah.
All right. Let's see. Sean says, from the neck down, what are you saying? My face isn't ripped.
Oh, it's funny.
All right. Let's see what else did I miss. Dodgers in 6. Ooh.
Dodgers in 6.
Sean says he's been on the couch. Don't worry. You guys watch UFC MMA? I do not. Do you?
A little bit. Something I don't know if you guys have seen that we had a previous guest on the show. He did
Bare knuckle
boxing,
Yeah.
and so dude, that shit was brutal.
Yeah.
Bare knuckle
Nico
boxing.
Hernandez.
Nico Hernandez, Olympian.
And then Joey Beltran, also the heavyweight, he fought the main event. But that was bare knuckle. I know Joey Beltran, he's done MMA. I don't know if it was UFC. I think he did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know too much about MMA anymore. If you tell me to name any MMA fighters, I would say Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Anderson Silva, back
Conor
then,
McGregor,
but
right?
Not anymore. Yeah, Conor.
Yeah. No, but that bare knuckle was super fucking entertaining. Any punch landed, bloody mess.
Dude, Sean is over here on fire, son.
What's he saying?
Said Clippers have a history too. A history of losing.
Damn.
Minus ain't been the same since he got KO'd. Yeah, that was Johnny, right? Johnny Gonzalez.
Previous guest of the show, Johnny Gonzalez.
Yeah, that was crazy. Johnny said there was nobody in his dressing room.
Damn, yeah.
But it's just his little camp of a few people. And Mares had a whole banda or mariachi. I don't know what he had in his dressing room. Cameras, people, and Johnny was just in there by himself, sitting down in his little dressing room. And he knocked him out. Man. That was wild, man.
Dude, and Johnny's, those guys, like if you follow him on Instagram, he's still working. Just like Cano, they're working. You see, like they're fit, they're ready.
Boxing is no joke, man.
And they're one of those guys that it's high risk, little reward. So anybody that thinks that they can walk over them, should be careful because these guys can shock at any moment, especially up and comers.
Who you got, Leo or Davis? I said last week, right? I think Leo. I hope he pulls it off.
The heart says Leo, but the money says like Tank.
Yeah, I'm not too convinced by Tank, bro. Like
I'm
Tank,
not, but like
in his best days, Tank. But how many times have we seen him at his best though? Last fight wasn't his best against Gamboa, who had a torn ligament in his knee.
Man,
so I'm hoping he has a bad day. I'm hoping Leo has a good day. And if he wins, everybody's going to go running to Andy Aguilar, the elite Smith, and saying, let me get some working with you, Andy.
For sure.
This physical performance training is definitely working. Let me get some of that.
If fucking Leo gets a knockout, for fucking sure. For sure. Or if he hurts him, touches him, and like, or even if he gets dropped, but he, gets up like very well, I'd be very impressed. But yeah. I wish I was a fly on the wall of Tank's gym to know what's going on.
Yeah. So Leo's going to be underdog, right? According to the odds?
Yeah. Based on size.
I would put money on him. But I wouldn't be 100% confident in my pick.
I mean, just put money that you think you're okay with losing.
That's
ATR
true.
Money, ATR money,
That's
what,
true.
$50?
Put it on Gervonta. If he wins, we're like, damn it. But yeah, we won.
Yeah.
Right? If Leo wins, you're like, I
could send $30. It's all right. It's cool.
Let me sell a few shirts. And
make it back.
All right, next one. Why Manny win 8 divisions belts if he was small? Bro, you're talking about one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And he probably walks around like at 55.
Like 55. He's a little guy, but
he's a little bigger than.
Yeah.
He's definitely.
He started very small. Very
Yeah.
small, right? So there's a lot of freaking divisions that he went through. I'm just impressed with Manny's eras. I think we talked about this. He had the Executioner era where he was just like in the small weight divisions, and that welterweight era, and then like the older Pacquiao that's still fucking fit and working harder than a lot of these young guys. And dude, that's just impressive. Fuck.
Yeah, like even now at 40, like if he fights Keith Thurman in his prime, I feel like he stops him, like he hurts him.
Yeah.
Adrian Broner, he would have hurt him if he was in his prime. But I think just Pacquiao's a tremendous athlete, just one of a kind.
Yeah, for sure.
Davis minus 350. Thank you, Sean, for that. All right. Max Palacios says, seriously, why did Nico, a bronze medal young Olympian, have to fight in bare knuckle? I thought promoters would be fighting over him. Yeah, he kind of explained. You remember what he said?
Yeah. So I'll let you take this one.
Well, I would make it brief. He said that they were offering him a lot of money. And he even mentioned in the post-fight interview, they were kind of like, oh, so you're going to come fight again? I'm pretty sure they're offering a lot of money for him. But he said he doesn't want to do it again because his hands were just hurting after the fight. They were very sore the next day. They were telling us. And then the Valderas brothers were telling us, right, because they were really close to him. His hands were, just hurting too much the next day. And he said he's not going to do it again.
Yeah, so like you said, they offered him a lot of money. Yeah. We won't disclose the figures, but I saw Alan's eyes pop open. And I was like, "Yo, so you don't have to tell me a number."
Oh, he did tell us, right?
At the beach. So I was at the beach with him, and I was like, "Yo, so
okay.
So that was a week I was covering Right Hook Roxy. Shout out to Right Hook Roxy, Coach Gloria, one of the up and coming trainers, not just women, like up and coming, trainers. So I went to the beach. I just kind of just asked him like nonchalantly. I was like, "Yo, Alan, so you gonna see the fight this weekend? Like for Nico?" He's like, "Oh hell yeah, that's my boy.
I'm getting ready to mute you in case you say a number."
I won't say a number. I won't say a number.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So
can't say it.
I was like, "Yo, so how much they? You don't gotta tell me how much." But he's like, "A lot, bro." He's like, "A lot," and I was like, and I was putting numbers out. He's like, I was like, "Oh, okay, man. Okay, so it's a good amount. It's a good amount."
So I mean, that's how they enticed Paulie Malignaggi to do it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Gave him a good contract, and I think they said the number for that one, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. But it had to be a good number because they need that. They're trying to grow their stable, and like I said, Joey Beltran, he was fighting in the UFC, I believe. He was a champion there at heavyweight, and he's fighting at BK.
Yeah, bare knuckle boxing.
I'm not sure what the league is called.
Bare knuckle boxing, BKB. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they're getting paid good money.
Yeah, so like, honestly, I saw the whole show and that shit was crazy.
I don't like watching it, bro. Honestly.
Dude, that was like one of those times where I was kind of cringing. I'm like, there was a lot of blood. Like this shit's like kind of hurting me, but it was so entertaining.
All right.
So this guy was interviewing a fighter. He got interrupted mid-interview. Like, yo, apologize, you got this wrong. It was a funny shit.
All right.
Funny shit.
Let's see. Pacquiao got 6 divisions. Why do people keep saying 8?
So I think it was one of those lesser known belts. It was like one of those like not as respected, division like organizations. But
like Canelo, how they're saying he didn't get 68.
Yeah, or it's one of those belts where like either vacant or not one of those. You take like he will go down the books as 8, but I do agree.
Yeah, I'm sure if you want to be technical about it, you could find a loophole somewhere. But I'm gonna just say 8, just because it sounds cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Manny started at light flyweight to 154. Guy's a legend, man.
Legend, dude.
Not everybody can do it.
Shit.
I mean, his speed alone just kind of negates everything else. Like his speed and the way he was able to move around the ring, kind of.
Even those fights against like Thurman and like Broner, these are fighters that are in their prime, and Pacquiao's past his prime.
Broner have a prime?
Shit, Maidana kind of took that out of him. But yeah, these are just guys.
I saw some videos of him. He's coming back supposedly.
I'm just saying, if you're doing everything right as a boxer, as a champion, as a title holder, you're fighting like someone that's 40, you should beat him.
All right, so before we get out of here, I just posted the picture. You're going to see it in a little bit, Chris, of the judge on his phone during a fight. I believe this was in the UK.
Yeah.
So we made a little skit about this, right?
We did.
Homie was actually doing it.
Dude, so
what are your thoughts on this?
Man, I mean, you called it, dude. You did it before it happened. Like, these guys, they should not have any...
What do you guys think in the audience? Go ahead.
They should not have any phones on them. They need to be, like, fucking tied to the chair. The only thing you have access to is, like, your pen and your pencil, and that's it. And, like...
Look at this.
Tied up to watching the fight. That's it, dude. Yeah.
Look at this. He was probably checking Twitter to see how to score the fight. Come and see it.
Yeah, one job.
Oh, my God. That is crazy, dude. There's people. There's cameras.
I know a lot of people I know he got burned.
Crazy.
He got burned. I don't know, like, what happened in the aftermath, but...
Dude, even us doing ringside commentary, I don't like to be on my phone.
Yeah.
Just because
hell
it's
no.
not a good look. Like
Yeah.
even just being commentators.
Exactly.
Imagine being a judge. And we
Yeah.
kind of seen it ringside, right? Like I always try to pay attention to who the judges are
Yeah.
because you can tell after every round who's handing the referee
Yeah.
the little paper, right?
Yeah.
So you know who the judges are, and a lot of times they just look bored, nonchalant, not
Yeah.
into it, and I don't know, man. I'm just like, is that just their demeanor? Like, is
Yeah.
that just how they are as a person, or do they really not want to be here?
Yeah. And I remember like one time, one fight, bro. You had no chill. You had no filter. I think we had the judge right next to you. It was
Yeah,
it was
I
a
think I got
judge,
like pretty heated that time.
you, and then me. And you're like, man, I don't know what fight these guys were seeing. They're not watching the fight. And I was then the judge was right next to you. I remember that.
And
You
I
were-
try to say loud enough because it's loud in there. You can't.
Yeah.
I can't even hear you right next to me. So I'm like, I'm trying to get this loud enough because they can't do anything to me. Like I'm just a commentator, dude.
And I'm
what
like,
are you gonna
going
do?
like,
Fire me?
"Oh."
Like
yeah, I'm like, shit, kind of, but I'm keeping my cool too. But I remember you called them out, and like after that, I think it was either the first, second fight, they started calling everything as we saw it. And so yeah, I just remember I'm like,
let's go,
I remember
baby.
thinking I'm like, fuck, like I'm thinking like, you can't fucking say that. But that
you're,
was like,
you're
no.
probably thinking like they're gonna call the
I was like, they're
commission
gonna
or something.
They're
Huh?
gonna
Like,
fire us. They're gonna be like, yo, no, you can't do that. But nah, it's like you call it how it is. Okay, you have to hold them accountable. And
Yeah.
dude, that's how it should be. You fucking put them on the spot, and after that, all the fights were pretty, accurate to what we were seeing, to what the audience was seeing and shit.
yeah.
So
And look, Max says I think dude was betting. Look, the sign right in front of him says "Gamble responsibly," which is the very ironic part of this.
interesting,
The one of the sponsors says "Gamble responsibly," so
dude.
that's just a
That's the,
picture for history, man. That's crazy.
that's the thing,
That is wild.
boxing and corruption go hand in hand. If you go back to like the 50s, 40s, 30s,
It's gotten a lot better though.
it's gotten a lot better. But like
It's gotten a lot better.
it's gotten a lot better. But there was a time where like the mafia controlled boxing and judges were bought off, and
Now it's
fear.
harder to cheat.
Now it's hard to
I
cheat.
mean, you could still pull it off like 119s to in a
Yeah.
close fight. You're just fucking 119.
But we joke about this is like if you're gonna do it, just don't leave any fingerprints, right? Just
I think we
112, 115.
I think we talked about it. Like you can just give the other guy rounds once the fight is kind of like over, just to play it
Yeah.
off. Make it like
Yeah.
a close like, oh, he already won, but I'll give this fool like 4 rounds, just just so they won't.
Man, that's funny, but yeah. 119 and 109. Come on, man. Get your shit together. Get your shit together.
Yeah, man, that was that. I don't think I have anything else, Chris. Do you have anything else?
Just a shout out to some of the previous guests like that we had this week, the week before. Shout out to the Monataya brothers. Check out that podcast. We had fun. We don't just talk about boxing. We try to get to know their personalities. We did some trivia, right? We did some fun games just to get to know them. Because we see, like I said, we seen Ray. He looks like a serious stoic person, but he's a fun guy, dude. Like
He's cool, man.
he knows how to let loose. He'll turn on that switch when that bell goes. Like, don't get it twisted. He's a beast. Gabe, preschool teacher. Got that win with one arm, which we found out later.
Yeah.
But yeah, be on the lookout for him. He's Top Ring has to send that contract because he's a great story, great guy, great fight, like good fighter. So they gotta put him on. Shout out to Ryker Roxy. Shout out to Diego Pacheco. That you covered them. Alan, who has a fight coming up.
November 21st, Tijuana, Mexico.
So are we on that? Or can we say that now? Are we on that?
Not official.
Not official,
We'll
but
save it.
we'll save that. We'll save that. Shout out to the Jackrabbits, Ashton Silva. You know all these names, right?
Yeah.
They fight October 31st, Fright Night. Check out their video. They're coming up with some marketing. So, that's going to be the future of boxing. How do you market yourself? How you get those followers up on your Instagram? Because once you get that 50K, 80K, 100K followers, then you dictate your leverage when it comes to finding promoters. So shout out to those guys. They fight October 31st in Tijuana. 8 fighters out of Long Beach, out of our hometown. So we'll be there. Shout out to
Let me interrupt you real quick because Jesus is asking, do we give away shirts? We do have a lot of shirts here. Normally we just give them away to boxers or to people who come on the show. But I feel like we should start giving them away like a little more,
so.
Chris.
I mean, if you're tuning in and you're supporting, yeah. send us your size and
I've been wanting to do it, but the only thing I'm not too in tune of how to like send it to
How to
you guys
ship.
and how to ship it. But
Mhm.
I'll learn that. I'll Google it, and we can definitely do like some trivia's. Like I'm thinking like post a question like
Yeah.
on Instagram on one of our stories,
Mhm.
and we can be like, oh, the first one to be the first one to answer it in our next live. Just type it in the chat or something like that.
Yeah, that'd
Make
be
it
dope.
fun, you know.
Yeah.
Make it fun. But yeah, we definitely want to.
Yeah. And if you're local SoCal and if you could pick up,
Yeah,
shit, you're
if
welcome
you're a
to.
local person, if you're from the LA County area, and yeah, we can definitely give some of these out, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we
I don't have
appreciate.
Instagram. Damn it. What are you on, Jesus? Are you on Facebook, Twitter?
So just make an Instagram, bro, just so you
Sean
get the
says
shirt.
it's called mail. Dude, I've never mailed anything in my life. The most I've done is like I didn't even know we needed like
The stamp, bro. You
Yeah,
need a stamp.
like
Bro,
the
this
most
is-
I've done is just drop something off like in the blue post op thingies like on the street.
Yeah.
I'll just like throw it in there, and
Bro,
that's
you need a stamp, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
My mom had to tell me, but you
Bro,
know,
mail in suppression, bro. Mail in suppression is real. Get out and vote. Hey, so yeah,
oh,
for
he's
sure.
in North Cal.
North Cal?
Oh, he's on nothing. Dang it! So we got to figure out a way to also get everybody involved who doesn't have
Yeah, who does
their
that?
Instagrams,
Yeah.
Facebooks, Twitters. Yeah,
Our email. So you can email us at againstdaropes.
yeah.
Gmail.com.
But we got to do like some kind of trivia,
Mhm.
on the shows.
We'll ask like
Yeah.
a question that we asked on this podcast. If you can answer it on the next one, you get a shirt. We'll work with it. We'll work with it.
Sean says we should let you guys go so Gio can Google mail. Sean, you gotta teach me. Sean always acts like he doesn't know this stuff. Like, oh, I don't know about computers. I don't know about technology.
Send mail.
Yeah,
You can,
and
fucking
this guy
Gio's gonna
knows,
get
like-
Gio's gonna hire like a crow and send a fucking shirt out to,
I feel
to
like it's
Chewy out in North Cal.
I feel like it's so easy that I don't know how to do it.
Like, car.
I'm gonna just give it to the mailman. Like, yo, can you send it to my friend Sean?
Here's $5. Make it happen.
This is where he lives, bro. Just
Here's three more bucks. Expedited shipping. God, that's funny.
yeah, I don't know how to ship stuff on it. I've
Yeah.
never done it.
We'll have Sean send us some how to do's instructions.
I've only been to like the
Yeah.
UPS store maybe like twice because I had to buy stamps.
Yeah. Dude, the last time I sent a letter was like Santa, bro. Like that's
Yeah. I hate sending stuff. Like
yeah.
when they need extra paperwork for stuff, I'm just like,
Shit.
can I just email it to you, dude? Like,
Fucking scan and email for sure. Yeah, but
crazy.
we'll get it going. We'll figure it out.
yeah, I should have more shirts soon.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks. I have a few right now, but mostly I just say one for the boxers and for us.
Yeah.
We rock with new one like every show.
Shit, for real. These are nice. I like this one.
Who was the
Epic.
founder of Against the Ropes? This guy
Oh.
named Eddie Reynoso. Like
He
King
believed in
Bro.
us. You know, he set us up. He like, yo, you, podcast Against the Ropes.
your Santa letter didn't get there, bro.
Did I never? What did I want?
He
Whatever
never-
gift I want, I did.
He
I
never
didn't
got
get it.
that Razor scooter.
I never got the Razor scooter.
Nah, but the founders, I guess, was us.
Us, yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
just a brief for you guys who are new. We started doing ringside commentary. We just kind of stumbled upon the gig. Chris knew a guy, and he said they needed ringside commentators one day,
Yeah.
and then we just started doing that from there, right?
Yeah. So I was doing camera work ringside, and one weekend, these guys didn't show up or something. Did I hit you up like last
Thank you
minute?
to them. You hit me up, and I didn't go because
Because it was
I
last
never
minute.
like speaking in front of
Yeah.
cameras and stuff. So I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, we can do it next time. And so like next time happened, those guys didn't show up, and I was like, yo, we can do it. I hit up Gio. We did commentary.
You dragged me there. I didn't
dragged
wanna
you.
do it.
And I was like, bro, just put on a tie. Did you wear a tie? Yeah, right. I was like,
I went suited. Bro.
I was like, just suit up, bro. Like tie, button, and dude, we caught the fights, and that shit was fucking dope. One of the coolest experiences ever. Like,
And then eventually, I used to speaking. We met a few people in the local boxing scene, and then we started a podcast.
start a podcast,
And we're
like,
here, 118 episodes later.
Yeah. Damn. And everyone we've learned. We've had our hiccups, our ups and downs, mostly ups. But you know, we learn, we live and learn, and we adapt. And
And we
We're
just
here.
started doing lives, honestly, during the pandemic.
yeah,
We had to buy our own equipment because we used to film at a studio.
mm-hmm.
We kind of had to buy stuff and figure how to do all this stuff with the software and YouTube and all that. And we kind of took a page out of Sean's book, right? He always used to do live, and he looked very stressed. So I was always hesitant, like, man, I don't know if I want to put myself through that, but it's cool.
So shout out to Sean. I know you're in the lab, bro. We have to have you back soon. Definitely have you back soon. We love talking boxing with you, bro. You're one of the coolest guys we've met here in the boxing scene. So, yeah, if you guys, tuning in, check out Just Boxing Live. He does a lot of stuff for up-and-coming boxers, when it comes to fundraising, when it comes to just helping up the fighters that don't get that same help, that the superstars get. So, yeah, check 100%. Them out. Awesome stuff.
Just Boxing Foundation. And shout out to Bon Kiki. I feel weird saying
Bon Kiki.
Shout out to CC and Day Day.
Hey.
And where y'all watching from?
For real.
What's good? Don't jump. What's good? We're about to sign off, guys. Whoa. All right, let's sign out.
What happened?
I don't know. Let's sign out. But yeah, shout out to Sean. Shout out to Comments Bet. Shout out to all you guys here on the live chat. How do you say your name, Bon Kiki? I don't know what that means.
Bon Kiki, it sounds about right.
All right. Also, one last shout out for my part. Make sure to go subscribe to Andy Aguilar's new YouTube channel. Hey. Andy Aguilar is the physical performance coach for a lot of these guys, for Chon Cepeda, for Leo Santa Cruz, for Diego Pacheco. I feel like that's why we were mentioning them a lot, huh? Because we kind of get to see the work behind the scenes. Also for Right Hook Roxy, Alan Garcia, the Valderas brothers. He was working with Sean Garcia as well. A lot of guys. He has a big stable of fighters. I think he's still working with like Cobra Ruiz as well. Yeah. So go follow his YouTube channel. Is AGNB Sports. All gas, no brakes. AGNB Sports. The channel's brand new. I'm helping them create some content and put it up there on YouTube. So go subscribe. We're gonna have a lot more videos coming up. So go do that, man.
Hey,
and that's all I got.
I think that's it. You covered most of it.
Shout out to Puro Golpe.
Shout out to Puro Golpe.
Sponsor Puro Golpe.
Jesse. Awesome dude.
Shout out to the Murataya brothers. We did the last episode at their home gym in their backyard. They have a ring. It was pretty dope. They're training. They're trained by their dad and by Robert Garcia. Ray is signed by Top Rank. He's going to be fighting on November 14th on the undercard of Crawford and who?
Kell Brook.
Yeah, and then Nano's supposed to be in that card as well. And then
with
Joshua Franco is fighting the other Maloney.
Rematch. The other Maloney.
Little Post Maloney.
The other Post Maloney.
The rematch. And yeah, man.
Yeah, and all the guys you mentioned, we've had them on the podcast, interviewed them, got to know them. So check those out.
Yeah, check out the last episodes and all that stuff.
And then,
we're about 2 hours in, bro. I think we got to go.
Yeah. Shout out again to... You're like, bye. Good?
Yeah.
All right. No,
go ahead.
Okay. Shout out to...
I was being funny.
Joel Uriarte, to Carlos, I'm Blessing. I was able to cover them on their works outside of the gym. They're doing their beach workouts. Shout out to Enrique Duran. We had a little fun. I know Gio's got a lot to work, a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of content. This guy stays in the lab working.
Let's go, baby.
So to subscribe, keep supporting. We got to feed the little guy because he does all the work. So shout out to Gio. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in.
One last shout out. He sent me a message, bro. So George Russell.
Okay.
Shout out to the George Russell podcast. We also help produce his podcast. It's a podcast about music. So if you guys are into Spanish music, Mexican music, check that out. All right, the George Russell podcast. All right, go subscribe to his YouTube channel, and then you can find him on Instagram at George Russell Official. Hey. So yeah, shout out to George, man.
Hey, the compa. So final message, like, we do this, but because we love it. If there's anything that you guys catch yourself doing on your free time, whether it's sports, music, whatever. Follow your passion, and you never know where it will take you. There's an audience out there that, that is passionate just as much as you, and so just follow it out. Like Gio said, we help produce podcasts, so if you guys are in the area interested, hit up Gio, and, he's got a little bit of time right now. He's always super busy, 24/7, but, we like helping people push for their passions and find their niche, whatever it is that they're into, because, nothing brings us more happiness. At least I speak for me, but I'm sure I speak for Gio too. That this brings us so much happiness, meeting the people, seeing their dreams, seeing how they work, and just giving a platform for them to show, their work. So, yeah.
Sean says this is like when I try to say goodbye to my family at holidays. I try to cut him off, Sean, but I thought that speech was pretty good.
You're like, it was good there, let's end it.
He said a Puerto Rican goodbye.
Do it pretty much. But yeah, shout out to everybody out there supporting.
Oh yeah, and shout out to Sean, man. Let me tell you about this guy. Let's get out of here, man. Sean, you better get ready, boy.
Yeah. I better get
2021.
ready. I'm coming. I'm coming for you. Hear that, Mike Tyson?
All right, man. We're getting out of here. Thank you, guys. We'll be back soon. Peace.
Like you already know, I said I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco AtR. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you very soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time on y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.